This sports presentation is brought to you by Eastlink Digital Cable. For the best values in home entertainment.
Good evening and welcome to Game 7 of the QMJHL Final on Eastlink Television. I'm Dan Robertson. Tonight it's a one-game showdown between the Halifax Mooseheads and the Hull Olympiques for the Q League Championship. The Olympiques forcing a Game 7 last night with a big 6-2 victory. Halifax got into penalty trouble early and Hull exposed them. They scored 4 times on the power play, and the Mooseheads did kill off a lot of penalties in the third period, but by that time it was over as Hull had a 6-2 lead after 2 and carried on that score throughout. They played desperation hockey where the Mooseheads did not. A quick turnaround for both teams. They each chartered a plane out of Hull last night and get in around 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning. We spoke with Benoit Groulx, the head coach of the Olympiques, early today and asked him his state of mind as his team gets ready for Game 7.
There's no doubt when you play 20 games for us and 25 for them, for sure the guys are a little bit tired, but you know, we're very excited to be here tonight. We're thrilled to be part of this 7 game, and for sure our guys going to go hard, and our goal after this game is to have no regrets, and knowing our players, they're going to give their best shot, and our goal is to win this cup.
Let's take a look at Hull's numbers through the 6 games in the series. 160 shots on goal. You look at the face-offs, Halifax has been much better. Body checks there as well. And again, the power play, 8 for 31. Hull again with 4 power play goals in Game 6. And you talk about special teams and goaltending. Well, Hull had it in spades last night, driving Guillaume Lavallee from the Moosehead goal. But really, you couldn't blame him for the goals against his team. The Mooseheads really didn't help out number 31 much last night. Well, we spoke with Sean McKenzie earlier today and his team again. They've been through a lot in the playoffs. This is their 3rd straight 7-game series, and we asked him, is fatigue a factor for the Mooseheads?
Well, a lot of people are telling me that fatigue is playing a role, but our players haven't told me that. So I think we've got to go out and we've got to go back to what works for us, and we've been saying that often over the playoffs. But it's quite simple that you've got to skate, you've got to win your battles, and you've got to play hungry hockey. And I don't think fatigue. I think it's been a long road for our hockey club. There's no denying that. But where would you rather be in Game 7 for the championship? So I think we've got to be excited by that.
He looks a little weary, but you see that smile. He knows what's at stake here tonight. The series again tied at 3. The Mooseheads dominant in the face-off chart. Body checks, Hull throwing a few more than the Moose, and 8 for 37. So Hull's power play a little bit better than Halifax's, but boy, they'll be special tonight, special teams. It'll count for a lot. Again, the Mooseheads have been through 2 Game 7s. They beat Bathurst 4-0 in Game 7 at the Forum. They beat Baie-Comeau 7-1 on the road in their last series, and they'll be at it again tonight. Hull has won 4 championships. They'll look for their 5th tonight. The Mooseheads, of course, in search of their 1st league title. For their thoughts on tonight, here are Ken McNeil and Paul McDonald.
Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome inside the Halifax Metro Centre as Eastlink Television brings you the President's Cup Final. Well, it's Game 7, winner take all, and we are certainly glad to be here, and what an awesome hockey game we're going to have for you here tonight. And Paul, after the Halifax Mooseheads regroup after a 6-2 loss, the keys to success, of course, on the other side for the Hull Olympic will be goaltending, discipline, and balanced scoring.
Well, of course, Talbot, Brunel, and Daou are leading the team throughout the playoffs. 20 points in this series, 110 so far in the playoffs. Jonathan Bellemare and others will have to step it up. LaFrance, well, I think he'll have to be simply outstanding to win here this evening. Discipline, check your egos and emotions at the door. Play for the team and not for yourself.
And for the hometown Halifax Mooseheads, their keys to success, will, intensity, and noise.
25th games of the playoffs. Put the nagging injuries to fatigue factor aside. Intensity, opening bell to the final bell, hit hard and often, noise. Fans have to get loud here at the Metro Centre, give Moose a lift. I think if the Mooseheads do those three things, that spells out a win tonight in Game 7.
Well, you can hear the noise level rev up here for the Metro Centre as we look at tonight's starting goaltenders, brought to you by Eastlink, your truly maritime communication and entertainment supplier. No surprise for the Hull Olympic. In goal, Eric Lafrance, 19 games played. He has an average of 2.97, a record of 15-4, and a save percentage of 90.7. And at the other end of the ice, Guillaume Lavallee. His batteries should be recharged. He's played in 24 hockey games, a record of 15-9, save percentage of 90.9, and an average of 2.49. As we get set tonight for Game 7 from a sold-out Halifax Metro Centre.
And a very noisy Metro Centre at that, Kent. The fans are in it. Mooseheads, of course, losing last evening, put everything behind them, come out, play hard, and I think they have the discipline behind the bench and the coaching staff that they can instill that you just have to play your game, come out and hit. The Mooseheads have thrown fewer hits than Hull in this series, and that's something we said right off the bat. Halifax has to take it to Hull. The 3 games that they won, they out-hit Hull. The 3 games that they lost, Hull out-hit Halifax.
And you got to look to your physical players, and Milan Jurchina, the guy that has to lead the way in the hit parade tonight. And we expect big things out of the Boston Bruin draft pick, Milan Jurchina. So the opening face-off just moments away as the teams now line up for their introductions. And what a huge hockey game on both sides of the ledger, Paul, and perhaps the biggest one that some of these guys will play in their careers.
Well, that's right, Ken. Another big game here at the Metro Centre this year in the Quebec League, and it's just been a great year all the way through. We've seen the Mooseheads, guys like Jurchina, step it up and have a breakout season. And here's your officials here this evening.
Jean Houle, the referee, Serge Carpentier, and Michel Cormier Jr., the 2 linesmen, and let's hope those guys don't play a big role in the hockey game tonight with a trip to the MasterCard Memorial Cup. Let the players decide the fate, not the referee, and hopefully that'll be done here tonight.
So it'll be interesting to see how this game unfolds. I expect to see Halifax really have a good start and take it to Hull. Get Hull running around in their own zone. I don't think the defense and the forwards coming back to move the puck out for Hull are as strong as the Halifax Mooseheads are in their own zone.
And here's a look at how things are going to shape up the schedule for the MasterCard Memorial Cup. It'll kick off on Saturday, Kitchener versus Quebec. And of course, the Quebec League entry will play on Sunday against the Western Hockey League champions, the Kelowna Rocket, coached by Mark Hampshire, of course, behind the bench for the World Junior Canadian entry. Of course, they lost here to the Russians, 3-2 in the gold medal hockey game. As we take a good look at your coach of the year in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, Coach Sean McKenzie, and I'm sure he's pulled out all the stops, and you can use every cliche that comes to mind. But the bottom line, you'll leave it all on the ice tonight as a trip to the Memorial Cup on the line.
Well, I think you're going to have to take the pressure off the players. McKenzie will do that. Don't worry about the Memorial Cup. Worry about Game 7.
So we can continue here with the pregame ceremonies. Jen Pettypaw will have the national anthem, and then we'll be underway with tonight's opening face-off. And Mooseheads are going to start the line combination of Gary Kent in the middle with Jimmy Sherrill and Marc-Andre Bernier, Milan Jurchina and Bobby Clark, and Peter Verana is a go here tonight. Of course, Game 7, tough time trying to keep Peter Verana out of the lineup. And after O Canada, we'll carry on with tonight's line combinations for both hockey clubs. The critical game, I would think, Paul, in the franchise off the Halifax Mooseheads. Now, let's send it ice level, and we'll have O Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, our true north.
will start Talbot, Daou, and Brunel up front. Wagner and Tyler Reed back in the blue line. And for the rest of the Hull Olympic line combinations, of course, the keys, Paul, to success, balance scoring. There they are.
Bellemare has to step it up here this evening. Out with a broken leg early on in the year. He's just rounding into form. Dupuis had a big goal last evening.
And of course, you'll see all kinds of jockeying with the forward units as we take a look at the defensive pairings. And the two guys at the top, Paul, Reed and Wagner, will be counted on heavily.
Wagner wears number 20 of the Czech Republic, and Tyler Reed started his Quebec Major Junior Hockey League with Halifax, is from Montreal, and he'll wear number 55. They'll be out all evening in this game.
Halifax native Chris Foddy out of the lineup. Dominic Demore in for Hull as we take a look at the forward units now for the Halifax Mooseheads.
A lot of scoring in those 12 forwards. McRae, Bell, and Benedict playing their last home game here as a Moosehead in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. And the defense pairings for the Moose this evening. Dressing 6, Yurchina, Villeneuve, Upshaw, Picard, Sherrill, and Clark. Richie McDonald not dressed this evening, but any of those 6 players can be out at any time. Do your job, win your shift, add your shifts up, and you'll get a W.
All right, we're ready to go upstairs. They look like they're ready to go downstairs. Game 7 from the Metro Centre is underway, and it's Jimmy Sherrill getting it to center ice. Talbot tried to pick his pocket, but it's sent into the backhand by Sherrill. LaFrance out of the goal, and the Mooseheads apply the heat right off the hop. Garrett Kent up to throw a check. Now the rink wide feet. Daou racing down the right wing boards. Looks to step around Clark. Yurchina in, and he gets his old man Clark. And that, the biggest hit. There's a shot right off the bat by the Hull Olympic. And that hit the base of the post as Milan Yurchina, Paul, we said had to be physical, but he wants to hit the guys in black, not the white jerseys.
But you gotta like seeing that out of Yurchina coming back hard. Moosehead starting with 3 defensemen on that shift. Clark, Yurchina, and Sherrill.
Puck is flipped just inside the line. Randy Upshaw will send it back out, and it's the center ice, controlled by Wagner. Dug free by Gannett. Racing up Peter Verana. We'll keep an eye on him to see how effective he is in the hockey game here tonight. Man, this crowd is loud tonight as Verana now will scoop it up. Sends it cross ice. Upshaw now will jump in on the rush. Down the left wing boards. Jams on the brakes. Gets around Jeff Smith. Now brings it back to the mid wall. Mooseheads with some pressure. FB Gannett, Peter Verana, and JF Sear, the forward unit here for the Halifax Mooseheads. Turning with the puck now is Guillaume Lebrec off the Hull Olympic. I'm sure Peter Verana will be a target in the hockey game as well tonight.
Well, you're going to hit him as often as you can. See how good that shoulder is, and I'm sure it's not 100%, or he would have been in last evening.
Here's JF Sear with the puck near side, right through the middle. Thatcher Bell will touch up, and it's going to be a 2-line pass, and we have an injured Hull player down on the ice, and it's Jeff Smith, the defenseman.
Bell just a bit offside, and let's have a look at one of the production lines for the two teams going hard here. Of course, Brunel, Talbot, and Daou. 110 points in the playoffs so far, 20 points as a unit in this series.
Downright scary for those three, Paul, the numbers they're putting up. This line, it's you could call it the production line, or you could call it the consistency line for the Halifax Mooseheads.
Grant, of course, we'll watch him here this evening, see how many shifts he gets, but get a good start on that first shift. Sear's got to use his body, as does FP Gannett. He's got to use the 6-foot, 187-pound body and help offensively here this evening.
Well, they continue to fill the seats here at the Halifax Metro Centre. The sold-out sign, we're on the front doors for the biggest game in franchise history, and it's our pleasure to have it for you here on Eastlink Television. Puck is scooped up by Bellemare. He was stripped in over the blue line. Sullivan now to the circle. Looks to cut in. He's upended by Stuart McRae, and it's Jonathan Bellemare. Brandon Benedict tries to stick with him. Center! They score! Sullivan in the slot, and the Hull Olympic jump out to a 1-0 lead.
When Hull get going good down low, cycling the puck well, they have 4 guys that cycle the puck beautifully. Brunel, Daou, Talbot, and Jonathan Bellemare. Sullivan, he was alone in the slot area, and the native of Calvert, Newfoundland, takes a nice pass from Jonathan Bellemare and puts it upstairs under Guillaume Lavallee. I think the Olympic, what they like to do is they like to keep the third guy high. They get control down in the corner. He kind of sneaks down through the middle of the slot area, left untouched. They've been doing it for a while. Time to readjust.
Well, for some strange reason, Paul, these Halifax Mooseheads have struggled all year long in the opening period. Tonight looks to be no exception as the Hull Olympics strike quick and the Mooseheads will have to prevent them scoring in quick bunches.
Well, that's right, Ken. Last night, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, they scored 3 goals to put that game away in the second. The Mooseheads really have to watch out for that.
And it was the 20-year line out there of Hull. For the Mooseheads, rather, Benedict and McRae and Thatcher Bell. Those guys will have to be responsible inside their own blue line as Kent now tries to maneuver his way in over. Lost the handle, and Damore playing his first game since quite some time for Hull. Slaps it all the way down the ice. Here's Steve Villeneuve now at his own line, sending a pass down, an errant one controlled by Damore. And he'll play it up on the left wing. To center ice, Nick Fougere now will get the puck in deep around the boards. Chopped there by Cabana to Randy Upshaw. Upshaw is taken out by Fougere. And this Hull Hockey Club has been more physical in this series. And as you heard Paul McDonald make mention off on the top of the broadcast, that should not be the case as Big George Davis looks to even up things in the physical department. Good hit on Damore. Upshaw fired! Just missing on the near side. Picard now around the woodwork. Picked up by A.J. McLean. McLean being watched closely there as he whips it into the corner. Davis will pick it up. Looks to send it to the front of the backhand. Back of the net. They try to jam it out front. LaFrance pants is on it, and he'll hang on.
Well, it's this line that's going to get the team going. Cabana, McLean, and George Davis had a great first series against Cape Breton. Cabana scoring 4 goals. He's got a great burst of speed. He's got unbelievable enthusiasm. Couple that with the experience of a George Davis and a A.J. McLean. You have a very solid line that should see quite a bit of action here this evening. Dale Sullivan's first of the series, 5th of the playoffs from Jonathan Bellemare. An even strength marker at the 2:07 mark has opened the scoring 1-0 in favor of the Hull Olympiques.
And we're back underway here for the Metro Centre. The fans not going to be denied here. They're back up and at it. And we're going to stop it and play. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
What do you think?
Thursday's HFX Entertainment Guide. Another reason to pick up the daily news. Your voice.
Yeah, the face-off just inside the Hull line. Back to Bobby Clark. He'll send it across to Picard. He'll float one in. LaFrance will drop it for Wagner. That's Jimmy Sherrill, on the line with Bobby Clark. Mooseheads trailing 1-0 as they look to set up the forecheck. McRae was upended. And up ice come the Hull Olympiques. Guillaume Lebrecq stood up by Jimmy Sherrill. And the pass sent across for Clark. Clark will shake the check up to McRae. This line looks to rejuvenate itself after giving up the goal. Here come the Olympic again. Stuart McRae stays with his man. As he falls to the ice, McRae plays the puck up ahead to Thatcher Bell. He'll work it across for Benedict. Benedict will get down over the line. Taken out. Back up quickly. Now try to work it out front. Nobody hold. And the Hull Olympic will gather it up and bring it again back to center ice. Mooseheads quickly send them back. They'll reorganize, and here they come once again. Tyler Reed a long shot off the backboards. Lavallee will paddle that to the corner. Picard took the hit. The puck worked to the front of the goal. And Guillaume Lavallee will drop on that for a face-off to his left.
And there's your goal scorer at the 2:07 mark. Dale Sullivan scores first goal of the playoff series, President Cup final. And it was assisted by Jonathan Bellemare. And there's Dale Sullivan now with 5 goals, 9 assists, 14 points now in his 20th game.
Face-off won cleanly by the Hull Olympic as it's angled off the boards and down inside the line. Doug O'Brien will chase it down quickly up ahead. Sullivan, he'll redirect it onto the stick off Wathier. Bumped lightly there by Picard. And it's sent around the boards by Randy Upshaw. Mooseheads with just a 1 shot on goal so far in the hockey game. Now it's Verana. A weak pass picked off by Bellemare as he comes back now. Randy Upshaw will watch him closely as Lavallee sends it around the boards for J.F. Sear. Drops it for Picard. The Hull Olympic quickly put the pressure on the Mooseheads. They have trouble controlling. Now up to F.B. Gannett. He'll leave it for Sear to Verana. Verana in full flight. Shot! And he hit the goal post with that low drive. Good to see as Verana scoots in over the line. Back come the Hull Olympic. Daou. There's the feed to the circles. The backhand shot just missing off the stick of Maxime Talbot. Jimmy Sherrill in traffic now will try to wheel his way up. And the pass just too far for J.F. Sear. They'll wave off the icing. And Derek Kent, Bernier will step onto the ice for the Halifax Mooseheads. Icing call coming here against the Hull Olympic. And the face-off will be back inside their own zone.
If I'm a forward sitting on that Moosehead bench, I'm looking at what Peter Verena just did. Nothing spectacular, but he got over the blue line, took a quick low snapshot on the net, and LaFrance again had a little bit of trouble controlling it. Went into the corner. That's telling me LaFrance may be fighting that puck here this evening, put some sustained pressure together, and force him to make a couple saves in a row.
And it's E.J. McLean with George Davis and Freddie Cabana. They had a good initial shift to start the hockey game, so they're rewarded with another one, and this line will be physical, no doubt about it.
And again, we talked about checking egos at the door. It doesn't matter who you have out on the ice, as long as you come through with the W.
A.J. McLean on this face-off, back to Davis. He fanned on it. Cabana's shot off his skate, and A.J. McLean will track it down in the corner. Centered it, deflected just wide by Davis. Good pressure again as the heat is on. This line, a great job so far. Yurchina now will quickly send it back in. It's going to be called on the offside against the Mooseheads.
George Davis sets up shop in front of LaFrance, and they just simply cannot move him. Tyler Reed, not the physical match of a George Davis. Davis, over 220 pounds. It's a fairly decent hand, skates very well. And if he gets the break here this evening, he'll put it in the net already with 4 points in the playoffs. Only one goal. That was his only goal as a Moosehead. 220 pounds, 6'2".
What a big goal it was, though. It kept the Mooseheads back on track in Game 2 against these Hull Olympic. And we'll see what he can do tonight as Benedict can't play the puck. Here come Hull now as they come to center ice. Puck is deflected again into the Halifax bench off the stick of Francis Wathier from the Olympic. And again, they'll face off just outside the Moosehead blue line.
Another major part of the deal, Stuart McRae, Ken, and he's played solid hockey, averaging over a point per game in the playoff round for Halifax. He's 25 points in 24 games. And again, a lot of guys putting points on the board for Halifax, showing a lot of balanced scoring.
Well, big Camo, Game 7 was certainly the biggest game in franchise history, but this will take its place as Thatcher Bell now will take the puck, hands it off to McRae, and McRae will finesse one in around the boards for the Mooseheads. Nobody goes to it, though, as it's the Hull Olympic. They can't clear it. Picard will rifle one just wide on the blocker's side. Picked up, but not cleared. Upshaw's drive is blocked by Tyler Reed. Thatcher Bell will get in and push it in a bit deeper. Benedict will hand off there as McRae out front. Rolling back to Upshaw, left point shot. Deflected just wide. McRae on the loose puck. He snaps one short side. It's loose. And LaFrance, finding it at the last second, will hang on to it.
Good pressure by the Mooseheads. That pressure really was initiated by a beautiful pick about 15 seconds before that by Thatcher Bell on a forward of the Hull Olympic, allowing Picard to keep the puck in. A couple chances for the Mooseheads. LaFrance, the puck was down beside him. He had no idea where that puck was. Stuart McRae comes out from the corner, throws it on the net. The puck was just beside his leg there. He had no idea where it was, and at the last second, he realizes and covers up.
Quick shot there by Peter Verena off the face-off, turned aside by LaFrance. Shots are 4-3 in the hockey game. The score is 1-0 for the Hull Olympic. On a goal by Dale Sullivan. Villeneuve will send it around the boards to Gannett, just out of his reach. And it's finally kicked out by the Mooseheads, and FP Gannett will race up and try to play it. Jean-Michel Daou sends it inside the Moosehead line. Villeneuve will take the pass from Yurchina. He'll return the favor now. Yurchina has trouble handling it. He'll have to circle back. Now plays it up on the far side. Sear looking to set up Verena just out of his reach. And again, the Mooseheads forced back inside their own blue line. Villeneuve again will bump it ahead for Sear. Looking to spot Gannett. Too far once again. And turning with the puck, Talbot. Can't set up Brunel on the pass, and again, Hull back to center ice. Oh, just about stolen. Here's Bernier off the bench. He gets in over the line. Snapshot, block, loose puck. Gannett can't control it. And it's picked up now by Fougere, sending it outside the line. And J.F. Sear will back it up for Jimmy Sherrill. Here comes Sherrill as he dips and dives to the line. Shot, and he just missed on the blocker side. Wicked hard slap shot there from Sherrill. No, he didn't keep it in. They're going to call it on the offside as the puck is cleared down the ice. What a great shot, though, by Jimmy Sherrill.
Sherrill has to jump up into play a little bit more. He's got a bullet shot, put it on the net again. Luckily for the Olympic, that was wide. I don't think LaFrance reacted in time for that shot.
Bobby Clark now will lead the rush. He'll pass it off to Derek Kent. Chips it off the boards and gets it inside the line. Still looking for our first penalty of the game. We thought it might come there as Kent was run down to the ice. Here's Preston. Wheeling in the corner, turning away from the pressure. Back to Bobby Clark. He whips it across for Picard. Snapshot off the blocker and out of play. We'll get another stoppage here at a face-off inside the Hull blue line.
Now there's some great pressure by Halifax in the Olympic zone. However, you have to wonder how long before the Mooseheads will turn the puck over with the defense pinching. Kent's had a great playoff run as well, 11 points in 24 games played. And once that puck's turned over from a pinch from the defenseman, those guys are off to the races. So you have to guard your own zone first. I like the pressure, but I'm worried about my own side of the ice as well.
Kent, Bell, and Benedict now up front for the Mooseheads. Back in the blue line, Villeneuve and Alexander Picard as the puck is sent across and then lifted out by the Hull Olympic as Picard will race back. Sullivan beat him to it, sweeping it just wide on the near side. Another shot kicked out by Guillaume Lavallee. And here comes Wathier now back for the Hull Olympic. Dropping it there, and again, this line finds itself in hot water. Pressure's on, and the puck again worked out of play, and we'll get another stoppage.
Something that has to be addressed is getting the puck out of your own zone. And Bell and McRae really have to address that. Get the puck out, know your assignments, make the quick pass out, and get control of the ice as well. Brandon Benedict, the third member of that line. But Sullivan is really rolling here tonight for the Olympic.
And it's A.J. McLean, Cabana, and Davis again up front for the Mooseheads. And Urchina and Upshaw paired together on the blue line. Shots for apiece. And we'll see if this line again can create scoring chances as A.J. McLean comes down across the line. Davis now in to pick the puck up. Jammed on the brakes, dropped it there. McLean will swoop in to pick it up. Leaves it for Davis, didn't see it. Now Upshaw will take control. He'll walk in off the line. Upshaw, tight angle shot, just missing. And it's picked up by Philippe Dupuis. Nice diving play by Cabana. Now Urchina steps into his man. And back for the Mooseheads will be A.J. McLean. Turning the puck over. Dominic Demore will float one in, knocked down by Davis. He'll lift it up in the backhand. Now sends it in deep. LaFrance plays that casually. And it's Demore sending it up ahead on the right aisle there for Talbot. And it's going to be called on the two-line pass. 1-0 Hull lead. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
I researched into all sorts of different schools. I wanted something different and exciting. I got the hands-on experience that companies look for.
Tuition is really affordable. I won't have a huge student debt when I come out. I'll just have a good career. I recommend college to anyone who wants a great career.
NSCC, education that works for you.
Days Inn, the official hotel of the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles, welcomes hockey players and fans throughout Atlantic Canada to stay with them when visiting Sydney. A proud sponsor of this exciting program, Days Inn.
Dan Robertson here at ice level at a loud Metro Centre as the Mooseheads trail 1-0 with a reminder of what's coming up in the first intermission. We'll hear from Moosehead General Manager Marcel Patnaud. He'll talk about some of the big deals that he made this year. We'll take a look at the highlights from the first, and Scott Squires will be in the stands with the fans. All that and more in the first intermission. Stay tuned. You're watching Q League playoff hockey on Eastlink Television right here at home.
Face-off is just inside the Hull line as the Mooseheads pull the puck back. Villeneuve and the Hull Olympic looking to change on the fly and get the matchups they're looking for. A turnover by the Mooseheads, Paul, and you expect them to be the team with a little more pressure playing at home.
Well, that's right, Ken. And everybody's saying next year is the Olympic year. This year could be their year. I don't think there's much pressure on that team right now.
Not expected to win. They were the underdogs. They cruised through the first 3 rounds of the playoffs and then met a very strong Halifax hockey club. 1-0 the score. Jimmy Sherrill overhandles the puck there, sent back to center ice, and Guillaume Lebrecq was run into there by Steve Villeneuve. Back for the Mooseheads. Milan Urchina right up the middle, turned it over. And it was Derek Kent waiting for that pass. And again, Lavallee out of the goal, and he'll paddle it around the boards near side. Bernier can't play it cleanly. Shot there, missing the mark, and it's loosened back to the goal. Picked up by Hull. They walk out. Backhand shot, not a whole lot on it. Mooseheads have trouble controlling. Now it's Kent. He's off to the races for the Mooseheads. Derek Kent crisscrossing at the line with Bernier. He'll simply dump it off, and the Mooseheads will complete the line change. Trailing 1-0 here in the hockey game. Puck now is dumped in cross corner by the Hull Olympic. Randy Upshaw plays it off the inboards. And here comes Serra again trying that long lead feed, and this time it'll travel the distance. An icy call made here, Paul, but it's obvious the Mooseheads looking to connect on that long pass.
Definitely a new wrinkle in the arsenal of the Halifax Mooseheads. Again, Urchina tried that pass, threw it through the neutral zone and easily intercepted I don't think you try to force that pass. If it's there, you take it. Don't force it. Interception could result in a 3-on-2 situation.
Face off to the right of Lavallee. It'll be the Verana line with Gannett and Cyr up front. And it will be Talbot, Brunel, and Daou for the Hull Olympics. So this big unit has been reunited by Coach Benoit Groux for Game 7 here this evening. Verana, of course, sitting out the hockey game last evening. And he has the puck now. Nice feed for Gannett. Open is Cyr on the right side, and he didn't see him and couldn't get it across. He was wide open to the net. There's a nice pass across, but Talbot was a stride in ahead of the play.
I think coming through the center zone, I'd love to see FP Gannett carry that puck. Get it into the Hull Olympic zone. Try to find Jean-Francois Cyr. He's a big, tall player, and when he gets it, he can really move it around. Jonathan Boutin saw his first playoff action last evening in the Olympic against the Olympics, and he's had a tough year, Ken. He 22 wins in the regular season, a 2.9 goals against average, and he's a guy that checked his ego at the door, and he's all for the team.
Here's LaBelle with a drive, missing blocker side. Benedict looks to play it off the boards, can't get it out. Another shot, pad save by Lavallee. And the Mooseheads chip it off the glass, and they'll get it outside the line. So this line has struggled a bit for the Mooseheads. Of course, Benedict with a lot of energy, and usually on most nights, Paul, at least in the playoffs, has sparked his hockey club.
Well, I think you just have to worry about getting the puck out and then worry about offense.
Here they come. Thatcher Bell will pick it up off the sideboards. McRae with him on the left side. Bell gets tied up, then he turns the puck over once again as it's taken high off the glass. McRae, he fakes the shot, still with it. Now brought it back outside the line, and we're going to have an offside called in the play.
I'd like to see this line get the red line, dump it in deep. They have a lot of good speed, and get in low, hit the opposition defense in behind the net and look for the turnover. Something really that the Mooseheads have gotten away from, especially this line where they like to rag the puck up through the center zone and try to gain the blue line in that manner.
Face-off control by the Hull Olympic now as they lead the hockey game by a score off 1-0 on a goal by Dale Sullivan, assisted by Bellemare, his 5th at the 2:07 mark, and it's been quiet since then. Not even a lot of shots. 5-4 to this point in the game. Peter Verana was dumped. Back up. Randy Upshaw with a drive, and LaFrance again out to play it. And Paulie missed it. Unfortunately for Hull, the shot went wide.
Seems to have trouble with that shot.
Here's a play back the other way, and a good defensive effort there by J.F. Cyr to hustle back and pick up his man. Now Verana back for the Mooseheads. Gets in over the blue line. Waiting, dropping, Gannett over, skates the puck. And Peter Verana, not his usual self, as he would have wheeled inside the line and probably snapped the shot as Haldu, there's a save. Lavallee with a 2 good stops in the Moosehead goal tonight. Puck is kept in by Olivier Labelle. Now for Guillaume Lebrecht. Lebrecht watched closely there by Randy Upshaw, able to shake that check. Now A.J. McLean will work it around the boards. Philippe Dupuis will take control. He moves in. Shot there. Tipped wide by the blocker of Lavallee. Moosehead slashing at it. Can't move it out. Batted out. And it's the Moosehead's George Davis. Again having trouble clearing the zone. Picard takes it high off the glass. Davis now will shield the puck with his body. Stick hooked up. Finally will muscle the puck outside the line. And Freddie Cabana now will look to set up the forecheck. Puck moved across, and Davis looking to line up Philippe Dupuis. Didn't get a piece of him. And back for the Halifax Mooseheads, Steve Villeneuve. Villeneuve being hooked on the play by Brunel. Gets the pass off to A.J. McLean. McLean paid the price along the sideboards, and we're going to have an offside called here. 1-0 Hull lead. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
Outdoor enthusiasts everywhere are turning to Trailblazer for quality outdoor products. Look for Trailblazer products at Canadian Tire, Kent, Home Hardware, Central Home Improvement Warehouse, Piercy's, and other fine retailers. Trailblazer, a proud sponsor of this telecast.
Intentional offside called against the Mooseheads, who find themselves trailing 1-0.
Well, a very cautious start here by the Mooseheads, and you can see that they're a bit nervous to start as Daou walks in, will wrap it around, stop made by Lavallee, and the loose puck turned up ice by Bernier as he scoots in over the blue line. Bernier drops it, Kent wires it, oh, he just missed as the puck rolls over the bar with a lot of velocity behind that one.
And Eric LaFrance was over to the right side of the net. He gave the whole glove end of the net away but Kent was unable to put the puck in. And there's Steve Villeneuve, the third member of the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles, coming over in the trade with the Halifax Mooseheads. Bernier takes the puck up through the zone, slows it, cuts through the middle, drop pass to Kent. Tipped in front by the forward coming back to help out. And very luckily for Hull, that did not go in.
Here's Brandon Benedict off the circle shot. Can't save. Rebound. Benedict can't put it in on the near side. Back to Villeneuve. He'll risk one tip just wide by the Moosehead. They've got some life here after 3 good scoring chances. Hull going to be called for icing. So the tide turning perhaps. Mooseheads trail it 1-0.
Again, I just put some pucks on Eric Lafrance and see how he can control those rebounds. And Villeneuve on the point 3 times already this evening. He tried to force the puck through the center of his own end. Get the puck out anyhow, any way that you can. Gain control. Let your forwards hit down low. I think the Mooseheads, if they can keep it simple, will keep the momentum shift going in their way, and before too long should beat Lafrance.
Face-off is won by the Hull Olympic as they lead the hockey game 1-0. Veranda's line with Gannett and Cyr up front. And it's the big line for the Hull Olympic. As Sullivan is crunched there by J.F. Cyr. Good body check thrown by Cyr. And it's the Mooseheads playing the puck. Perhaps a 3-on-2 shaping up. Veranda in over the line. Clark cuts to the goal. The pass, and Bobby Clark couldn't get a stick on it. Cyr hangs back to the line as Jimmy Sherrill now will track it down inside his own line. Up ahead to J.F. Cyr. Sends it across for F.P. Gannett. He had to stay on side, so Jeff Smith will tap it up and around the boards for Nick Fougier. Fougier now down the right wing. Cross corner dump in, and Randy Upshaw will pick it up off the end board. Upshaw works it up on the wing here to Thatcher Bell. He chips it off the boards. Benedict bursting down the wing. Here he comes, the shot. The save made, the rebound juggled and held on to by LaFrance. 1-0, Hull lead it. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
Wood Motors Ford, proud sponsors of the Halifax Mooseheads. Drop by and check out our sale on Ford trucks. For cars and trucks, you'll always get a great deal at Wood Motors Ford. Where else?
And here's Benedict coming in, tries to lower the shoulder and get in on the net. LaFrance juggles the puck, but's able to catch it and cover up.
Villanova waiting at the line. They try to get him the puck. Turning in traffic was Marc-Andre Bernier. 2-on-2 battle there, and it's the Hull Olympic who come away with it. Sending it, but not out. Urchina, he'll drive one, blocked, and it's off into the corner. Bernier blew an edge, and the Hull Olympic will take control. Jean-Michel Daou picks it up. Given a hit there by Villeneuve, but carrying on. Talbot across to Lavallee, and he'll free trade in the play. Face off to his left.
Again, this trio seemed to make something out of nothing. And Brunel with 20 goals in the playoffs for the Olympic has another good scoring chance. 5 goals in this playoff against the Halifax Mooseheads. And Brunel, 35 points, Ken, in 19 games, 20 goals, 15 assists. And that's really putting the puck in the net. And he's a go-to guy that's really getting the job done. And here's the end of the play. Talbot throws it in front. And Brunel, like any good hockey player should, keeps the stick down low, close to the ice.
Puck down, the face-off, controlled by Halifax, and here's Thatcher Bell. Comes to the logo at center, chipped it ahead, it's intercepted, and sent back inside the line. Stuart McRae, the first Moosehead back to pick it up as he jams on the brakes. Watched closely by Lavelle, up to Benedict. Benedict hacked it off the glass, but can't clear it. Second chance, here they come. 3-on-2, McRae left side, in, waiting, trying to force it across. And a good scoring play denied there by an excellent defensive effort. Picard whips it to Clark. He teed it up. That's blocked. Thatcher Bell lifted. Benedict now will come out. Wrap around attempt. Tight angle. And the Mooseheads again. Keep it in. Bobby Clark. Left point. Nice feed across. Tied up nicely was Stuart McQuaid. And this Hull Olympic Hockey Club kind of turning the tables on the Mooseheads with that suffocating defense.
Again, that all started on a pinch by defenseman in the Moosehead zone. I believe it was Doug O'Brien came in. This results in the 3-on-1 situation. Picard makes a quick pass over. Some nice work in front as Desalliers picks up Halifax player. Bell comes in looking for any rebound, and LaFrance luckily able to cover up for the Olympique. But some nice work by the Mooseheads, really getting this younger team running around in their own zone.
Wathier will play the puck to the line, and outside it'll come. Forced back inside the line, Milan Urchina. He's got Randy Upshaw on the left point. And there's where the puck goes. Upshaw hit up, will start for the Mooseheads. Chipped ahead to Gannett. He'll let it roll inside the zone as Jeff Smith now will run it around the boardwork. The Olympic there in position to pick it up, and here they come across the blue line. Bellemare in the slot, leaves it. Dupuy, a backhand feed, bouncing, just missed. Dangerous looking play there. Smith unable to keep the puck inside the line. And here come the Moosehead. FP Gannett in off the left wing. Shot right on in the rebound, pulled in by LaFrance. As FP Gannett let one go from the top of the circle.
And Gannett puts a nice hard low shot on LaFrance, and LaFrance makes the save, but a turnover at the Moosehead blue line results in a 2-on-1. Here's the tail end of that. Gannett a little bit too far on the wing. Really, the lane for the pass was taken away by a nice dive by the defenseman, and LaFrance makes another save, but some nice work by Halifax, pressuring the Olympic into a turnover.
And you could see that Eric LaFrance was square to the shooter. He made an easy stop. Urchina with a drive, turned aside by LaFrance as he looks to settle in between the pipes tonight for the Hull Olympic. Shots are 8 apiece. As Bernier being worked over there, he uses his size and strength. Backhand shot tipped just wide. Kent now will look to wrap it around. He centers it, and nobody can get a stick on it for the Moosehead. And the puck is sent back up. Jimmy Sherrill misplays it at the line as he stopped it. Now the feed in. Here's a chance. They score! Brunel. And that, folks, might have been offside. We'll have to get a look. Nonetheless, it's going to be a 2-0 lead for the Hull Olympic.
And again, it's Matthew Brunel picking up goal number 21 after it seemed like a great momentum shift into the Mooseheads' favor. The Olympic are able to come down in the big line, does it again for them in the playoffs. Here is the end of the play. Is it offside? Hard to say. Brunel was coming in. He came in on a straight line, and the other player with the puck came in on an angle. Offside or not, it's 2-0 now in favor of the Olympic. Again, this line makes something out of nothing.
And just as you said, Paul, the Mooseheads were really bringing it to the Hull Olympic. Yeah, they have been yet to be rewarded, but they'll have to continue to plug away. This taking on a resemblance of Game 2 of the series, where the Mooseheads found themselves down 2-0 before winning in overtime on a goal by Thatcher Bell. Here's Benedict turning off the sidewall. Shot in again. He goes way over top of the goal. And not even close. Face-off will be outside the line.
58.6 seconds left. And this is something I really haven't seen a lot of this year, Ken, and perhaps I'm just interpreting it a little bit different than you. Mooseheads seem to be pressing a little bit here, trying to force the matter instead of letting the game flow. And when they let the game flow, a lot of times they'll come out in their favor. But again, they seem to be pressing.
Well, they'll try to get a late one here as McRae will remain on the ice with Benedict and Thatcher Bell. Urchina tries to get a piece off Matthew Brunel. He does, but Daou will take the puck in front. Oh, they try to jam it in short side. This line has been downright dangerous. Benedict now with a great blazing speed down the board. His backhand shot, tight angle. Wide of the mark again. Hauled to the ice by Tyler Reed. And no call there from Jean Houle. And then another Moosehead player, Thatcher Bell, gets tied up. And these are the things that can happen, Paul. So many things magnified in a big game.
And if the referee doesn't make the call, he's not going to make the call. But again, get that out of your system. There's Reed. Definitely puts the hold on Brandon Benedict. This was 2 months earlier. Reed would be in the penalty box for 2 minutes. Not called, but again, keep the emotions in check. Don't worry about the referee. Worry about yourself and try to get something going.
A.J. McLean on this face-off. The puck pulled back. Now it's blocked at the line. Picard, again hesitant, was going to move in, decided not to, probably could have. And here come the Hull Olympics. Sullivan shot wide, short side, picked up by Wathier. And around the boards for Picard. He'll bump it ahead for Sear. He feeds Cabana. Cabana breaking in, and he was chopped to the ice. Sear looks to center, but it's turned over by the Halifax Mooseheads, and the puck forced in around the boards. That should do it here for the opening period. The Hull Olympic jumping out to a 2-0 lead on the road. They lead the Mooseheads.
They opened with one early, Dale Sullivan at the 2:07 mark, and they closed with one late at the 18:45 mark. Matthew Brunel with his 21st goal of the playoffs. Even strength from Maxime Talbot. Talbot picking up point number 43 to lead the Q League playoff scoring race. Again, it's time to readjust, Ken. You have 18 minutes now to do it. It's time to readjust.
2-0 your score. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
Welcome back. Dan Robertson here in our Eastlink studios. In the first intermission, the Mooseheads trailing 2-0 on goals by Dale Sullivan and Matthew Brunel. And we're joined now by Jason Trowini, our analyst. And not a great start for the Moose, Jason. What did you see?
No, I think there's, it seems like they're sitting back a bit and they're allowing Hall to use their speed. And when you allow Hall, which is an offensive, small, skilled team and speedy, that's just, this is what happens. They work really well down low, and they took advantage of a couple goals there, and that was a nice play in the last one. But it's just the first period. So
yeah, Brunel's a sniper. He made a good move. Well, let's talk about Villeneuve and I can't remember who the Urchina, right? On the Brunel goal, it seems that maybe they got crossed up a little bit.
Yeah, I think Urchina just went towards the puck, and as well as Villeneuve a little bit towards it, and then it was a nice pass, and those things are going to happen. But it's a 2-0 game. It's still early in the game, and it's in Game 7, it's not over.
Yeah, we've seen the Mooseheads come back from down 2-0. Let's talk about pressure. I mean, some might say the pressure is on the Mooseheads tonight, but as fans, we throw those words around a lot, and fatigue. But what about players? Do you feel it out there?
I mean, there's a certain amount of pressure. They've got a good team. They know they should be doing well, and but I mean that's saying that it's just it's a Game 7, and you just go out there and you know what you got to do, and you do everything you can do to get your team to win, and that's all I'm sure they're worried about right now.
What do you think Halifax should do to try and get on the board here?
Well, I think they just got to get more aggressive down low. I think that offensively they've just been, they haven't been getting much. They're allowing Hall, I think, to gain speed in the neutral zone. I think they got to slow that down and just get some pucks and traffic on the goalie there, and there should be no problem.
Every game here in the playoffs, Halifax has brought out either a former captain or some prominent players to get the crowd up. Tonight, they basically honored the 7th player, the crowd itself, and that's a great thing. And I know that you appreciated the crowd.
Yeah,
here.
No, I mean the crowd here is great, and everybody knows that across Canada, really, and that's a good thing to do, and I think the crowd deserves it, and the crowd's always behind the Mooseheads, and I'm sure the boys won't disappoint tonight.
Our thanks to Jason Trowini. When we come back, we'll speak with the general manager of the Mooseheads, Marcel Patenot. Halifax trailing 2-0 after 1. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home. The Metro Centre sold out very quickly tonight, as obviously last night, Game 6, Hull winning and setting up the Game 7 here. Mooseheads trailing 2-0 after 1 period of play. We're joined now by the general manager of the Halifax Mooseheads, Marcel Patenot. And sure, he didn't like the start, but one of the benchmarks of this team is that it has a lot of veteran leadership, and they've come back before, and I'm sure they can do it again.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of character, but I'm not unpleased of the start. They had the bounces and they put it in, but I think the effort is there. The game plan is working well, so no, I'm happy, and I think we'll bounce back. Yeah, you really seemed to put pressure on them late in the first period. I guess a bad break that Brunel scored, but it looked like the Moose had a couple of good chances there. Oh, we had a few, and if we're working down deep and go around their defense, and we'll have a fair chance, and I think overall we'll be happy at the end of the game. I want to ask you about Guillaume Lavallee. When you acquired him from Shawinigan this year for a 5th-round pick, there was criticism questioning if he's the guy to take you a long way in the playoffs, and he's made you look like a genius, and he's been terrific. But just talk about what he's meant to your team. I think overall Guillaume played very well, and right now he's probably one of the players that could win the Guildford Trophy as a MVP of the playoffs. But Guillaume, we knew him since he was 15 years old, and we had good information on him, and we're very happy. We tried last year also when we had Danny Dallaire, we had the young goaltender Jonathan Boutin, so we want to see if we were able to acquire another goaltender, and Guillaume was part of our discussion with the Shawinigan at that time. And this year they accepted our offer, and we're very pleased that he's with us this year.
And Jonathan got in last night under tough conditions, but played very well. And we don't want to forget about him. He's a big part of the future, I would think.
Oh, he's a big part of the future, and also being 17, he's ranked in the top goalies in the CHL. So no, he's got a lot of talent, and we've got the young Jason Churchill also that played for Enniganish this year that performs very well. So no, our future in net is look pretty good.
A lot of times you'll see teams that go deep in the playoffs will have 3 or 4 big scores, and there's a tail off after that. But the way this team's modeled, a lot of depth, a lot of guys who can put the puck in the net. Do you see maybe teams trying to go that route from now on? Is that a better way to do it?
That I cannot answer your question, but for us this year, when we decided to acquire McRae, Davis, and Villeneuve was part of our plan that we needed another goal scorer, so that's why we went and get McRae. So overall, no, I think teams maybe will copy our model, but also I think teams also will copy the model of Hall also that right now are building from in, and they want to get a good goal scorer in Brunel. So they made good moves, and we made good moves, and now we're down to the stretch in 7 games, and that's the thing right now.
That's all you can ask for, I guess. And regardless how it turns out, great job this year. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
That's Marcel Patnaud, the general manager of the Halifax Mooseheads, who trail after 1 by a score of 2-0. We're going to go now into the stands with the fans with Scott Squires. Take it away, Scott.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Well, the atmosphere is intense. It's Game 7. We've got some great Moosehead fans with us. We've got, tell me your name.
Ian!
This is Ian. And what do you think tonight, Ian? Who's going to win?
Mooseheads!
Mooseheads. And this is?
Eric.
And Eric, what's your call for the game tonight, buddy? Let's.
Mooseheads are going to kill!
All right, we got a. All right, the guys say the Mooseheads are going to win. And this is?
Vince North.
Doing, Vince?
Yeah, excellent, excellent.
Let's have a call.
Mooseheads!
Now, it came to my attention that you perhaps could be the luckiest Mooseheads fan in the city. Tell me about that.
I picked up the last 3 tickets at the Sobeys in Sackville. The last 3. The guy after me was crying in his seat. The last 3 tickets. They're separated, but we're going to have fun tonight, aren't we, boys?
Yeah!
Go Moose!
Well, if the rest of the sold-out crowd is anything like this, it's going to be a lot of fun here tonight. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home. Welcome back to the most electrifying building in Canada tonight, the Halifax Metro Centre. I'm joined by a couple of more fantastic Mooseheads fans. This is Barb, and Barb, talk to me about how much of a diehard Moosehead fan you are.
Oh, I'm a pretty good Moosehead fan. We've been coming since 1997, and we missed very, very few games, let me tell you. We just love those boys.
Now, did you think at the beginning of the year that Halifax would be in Game 7 for the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League Championship with a chance to go to the Memorial Cup?
No, not really, but we always hope. We were there when Jaguar almost got us there that many years ago, so.
Well,
anyway, we're going to do it now. We're going to win tonight. Go, Moose, go.
Well, you heard it from Barb, and if Barb's not enough convincing for you, how about Barb's mother, Cora? In July, she's going to be 90 years young. Cora,
Moose, go is right.
How big a Mooseheads fan are you?
Oh, the greatest. The greatest.
And of all the years that you've been coming to watch the Mooseheads, do you remember a moment as exciting as Game 7 tonight?
No, this is the greatest one. This is the most exciting, I think. To go right down to the wire, and we have to win it. So we got to win.
And finally, a prediction. Who do you think is going to take it home?
Well, that's, of course, the Mooseheads.
Well, you've heard it from Barb and from Cora. It's Mooseheads all the way. Now, let's go back to the studio and Dan Robertson.
Thanks.
Welcome back to the most electrifying building in Canada tonight, the Halifax Metro Centre. I'm joined by a couple of more fantastic Mooseheads fans. This is Barb, and Barb, talk to me about how much of a diehard Moosehead fan you are.
Oh, I'm a pretty good Moosehead fan. We've been coming since 1997, and we missed very, very few games, let me tell you. We just love those boys.
Now, did you think at the beginning of the year that Halifax would be in Game 7 for the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League Championship with a chance to go to the Memorial Cup?
No, not really, but we always hope. We were there when Jaguar almost got us there that many years ago. So,
well,
anyway, we're going to do it now. We're going to win tonight. Go, Moose, go.
Well, you heard it from Barb. And if Barb's not enough convincing for you, how about Barb's mother, Cora? In July, she's going to be 90 years young. Cora,
Moose, go is right.
How big a Mooseheads fan are you?
Oh, the greatest. The greatest.
And of all the years that you've been coming to watch the Mooseheads, do you remember a moment as exciting as Game 7 tonight?
No, this is the greatest one. This is the most exciting, I think. To go right down to the wire, and we have to win it. So we got to win.
And finally, a prediction. Who do you think is going to take it home?
Well, us, of course. Mooseheads.
Well, you've heard it from Barb and from Cora. It's Mooseheads all the way. Now, let's go back to the studio and Dan Robertson.
Thanks a lot, Scott. It's Sullivan and Brunel for Hull as they lead 2-0 after one period of play.
Period highlights are brought to you by the credit unions of Nova Scotia.
Full-service banking available at over 75 locations in Nova Scotia. RRSPs, credit cards, internet banking, mortgages. Surprised? Shouldn't be. Credit unions of Nova Scotia. Our business is banking. Our focus is people.
Here we go, our highlights from period number 1 as we see a chance here by the Mooseheads created by Davis, Cabana, and McLean.
And a nice work by LaFrance. There's some more pressure by Jimmy Sherrill. The nice hard slap shot just misses. Here's a stop by Guillaume Lavallee. And again, Lavallee's been solid, and he made the nice save there. Brandon Benedict comes in, throws it on LaFrance, juggling it, makes the save. FP Gannett runs out of real estate, a nice play by the defenseman, and LaFrance makes the save. And here's the goal, very close to offside. There's a better angle at it still. We couldn't tell if Brunel was offside or not, but that was the second goal of the period. Sullivan from Bellemare opened the scoring at the 2:07 mark. And Matthew Brunel with his 21st goal of the playoffs from Maxime Talbot. The other goal at the 18:45 mark. Shots were 10-8 in favor of the Olympic.
No penalties called in the opening period. Just the 2 goals by the Hull Olympics. So the first period, per usual, if you're the Halifax Mooseheads, they've got to get it rolling. No, Paul, they can ill afford to give up the next goal and hope to come back against this high-octane offense.
And I think you're going to see a different Moosehead team in the second period. Get back to the basics, hit and hit hard. And we can't stress that enough. We've stressed it all series. Halifax is the bigger team. Slowest, smaller team down with hard hits.
Back to center, and we're underway. It's period number 2 as that shot goes in off the stick, and Tyler Reed immediately got a play. And for the first time, at least since I've noticed in this series, it looks like Benoit Group obviously looking to get the matchup because he's changing a lot on the fly, and we'll keep an eye on Sean McKenzie to see if he counter changes.
And McKenzie now trying to get who he wants out against Lebrec and Dupuis.
Well, he does have the last change, Paul, and should take full advantage.
Well, again, you have to, Ken. You have to do everything you can in your home building.
Puck is sent around the boards. Charging in from the line, Benedict looks to play it, but it's lifted out and down the ice. And Milan Jurchina will retreat deep inside his own blue line. It's going to be a nicely called against Hull, and they'll move it down 200 feet to the left off Eric LaFrance.
And there's Milan Jurchina, 11 points in the playoffs, 24 games played, 5 goals, 6 assists, and he's a plus 10. He got hurt just before Christmas in the World Junior Exhibition game down at Center 200. 6'4", 218-pound, laid some punishing body checks out here in the series, but he really has to step it up here in the last 2 periods of this game.
Hull able to control the draw as Matthew Brunel will send it up, and it's floated in, and Jurchina will chase it down. Lavallee now will send it off the side wall, picked up by Bernier. So they'll look to get Kent Bernier on the forward unit with Freddie Cabana to try to check the line of Talbot, Daou, and Brunel. Back at the line, it's Steve Villeneuve now for the Halifax Mooseheads, watched by Maxime Talbot, the Pittsburgh Penguin draft pick. Talbot lost an edge, down he goes. Villeneuve turned it over. Center a pass off a skate, and the puck bouncing back to center ice. Demore rubbed out of the play by Bernier. The puck sent in, and it's going to be called on the offside.
The Olympic a little lax in getting out of the Halifax Moosehead zone. But if you're the Hull Olympic, you like getting the puck in the center zone and driving it back in. The Halifax Mooseheads have shown all through the playoffs that sometimes they'll make the bad pass in their own zone. And especially when a neutral zone trap is thrown at you, that's when you tend to make the odd bad pass. So again, Halifax have to break that trap.
Belmar tied up by Stuart McRae, and Picard will range in and dump it in along the boards. LaFrance again out to set it up. He'll ring it up and around. Wathier can't play it. And the puck now forced out. Here comes Belmar down the left boards. Belmar possible 2-on-1. Shot goes short side and missed by a bunch. Rebound controlled by the Mooseheads. Here they come up the middle for Bill. He'll hand it off there to McRae. The pass not a good one, and he couldn't handle it. Around the boards it'll come again. Picard backing up, and it's going to be an offside, Paul. Again, the cautious start by the Mooseheads. You see Picard back up rather than move forward.
Again, you have conflicting emotions going on if you're a defenseman. You want to keep the puck in, but again, if you keep the puck in and you get the bad bounce off the boards, it's a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1, and that happened 15 seconds before that. Jonathan Belmar coming in on a 2-on-1 with Tyler Reed. Tried to go short side, but he missed the net by a couple feet. So again, when you're a defenseman, you have conflicting emotions out there.
Talbot hitting the facial area with that puck off the stick of Milan Jurchina. And he looks like he's going to remain on the ice, so obviously no worse for wear there. As Peter Verena will back it up. Jurchina takes it inside his own blue line. Looks to go rink wide. Yahoo knocked it out of midair, and in over the line he comes. Sayre will strip the puck from him. He tries to spot Gannett with the long pass. Jeff Smith takes over at center, and they bounce it inside the Moosehead line. Jurchina again will take it. Off the boards, nobody home for the Mooseheads. They get trouble connecting with some passes. Here's a chance. Brunel, one-timer. Nice stop by Lavallee. As again, this line looking to do some damage. Brunel already with a goal to the hockey game this evening.
Doesn't take Brunel very long to get that shot off. A nice low hard shot, and Guillaume Lavallee made the save.
So we've got a 1-0 hockey game here in favor off the Hull Olympic. Yeah, the Mooseheads looking to tie the game. Here's Gannett now as he steps in over the blue line. Stopped, then Philippe Dupuis will send it out and down the ice. This, folks, going to be an icy call against the Hull Olympic.
Again, most of the play in the second period so far has taken place in the center zone. And Jurchina again gets the puck out very nicely. However, tried an ill-advised cross-ice pass. You have to keep it simple. Throwing it through the center zone is not keeping it simple. Watch the quick shot by Matthew Brunel. Backing up, and he can get all that on the shot like that. And he's only going to get better, Ken. He'll be back as a 20-year-old next year.
Of course, 2-0 your score, not 1-0 in favor of Hull as that shot goes wide of the mark. The puck again deflecting into the Halifax bench, and we'll get another stoppage here in this middle period.
Jimmy Sherrill pinches at the blue line. The puck was rang out high off the boards by the Olympic, and who's coming through the center zone? But Francis Wathier, he gets the puck, he's in on a 2-on-1 situation. So again, I mentioned it earlier, if you're a defenseman, you have to really pick and choose when to pinch because the Olympic like to keep their forwards high.
A.J. McLean with a stick tied up. George Davis bumping with Fougere, and Jimmy Sherrill skates back to pick it up deep inside his own zone. He'll play it up on the left aisle. Off the boards, Cabana sending it, or rather Preston sending it ahead. Davis lining up Taou, and Preston will take the puck. Couldn't spot A.J. McLean with it as it's feathered back inside the line. It's Jimmy Sherrill to regroup for the Halifax Mooseheads. Off the boards for Stevie Villeneuve. Doesn't like what he sees, so he'll turn back inside the line. For Sherrill once again, the Mooseheads try to come out. There's the pass for Davis. Davis tries to set it up A.J. McLean. He's denied on that pass. And Sam Roberts with a rink-wide pass here on the right wing boards for Maxime Talbot. Talbot will jump in over the blue line. Taken out by Jimmy Sherrill. Good hit by Sherrill. And back the other way comes Benedict. Couple of great moves there as he dangles in over the blue line with it now, and they're going to call that on the offside.
Again, you make that one extra move at the blue line. Benedict actually goes in behind Stuart McRae. McRae nowhere else to go but offside. And here's a nice hit by Jimmy Sherrill, taking Talbot heavily into the boards and really stepped that game up a little bit more here in the second and really build on it in the third periods. That's something the Mooseheads have to key in on.
Benedict with some good energy and a good rush, but McRae a bit anxious there, and those are the things that can happen in a seventh game. And we'll see if the Mooseheads can settle down as the puck is sent in, and it'll find its way out of play. We'll step aside with the Moose trailing 2-0. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
What do you think?
Thursday's HFX Entertainment Guide. Another reason to pick up the daily news. Your voice.
It's the Halifax Mooseheads working the puck up and in over the line. Picard will send it around the boards. Wagner there to play it. Pressured by McRae. Skates to the side of him. Kept in McRae. Has it now in the circle. A pass. Oh, good stop. Rebound. They can't bank it in behind LaFrance. Good sprawling stop on Thatcher Bell. McRae now being worked over. Bell will watch the puck roll in deep along the boards. Benedict worked over there by Tyler Reed. Here's Thatcher Bell stepping up to try to play it. He's all tied up. And it's Benedict now to take it. He turned the puck over. And it's sent down the ice by the Hull Olympic. And that will be an icing call. And Hull will get a fresh line change.
A great opportunity for Thatcher Bell off a bad turnover in the Olympic zone. Nice play by Stuart McRae. Keeps control of the puck on the left or the right side, throws it over, and Bell with a quick one-time backhand almost in underneath of Eric LaFrance, and very, very unluckily for the Mooseheads, that seemed to hit LaFrance in the arm.
So Bernier on the ice now with FP Gannett and JF Sear, so not sure the injury has been flamed up again on Peter Verana. He is on the bench, and we'll keep an eye on Verana, whether he returns between this line. It was been so good all season long. Bernier, though, filled in quite nicely here for the Mooseheads.
You don't definitely lose too much offensively with Marc-Andre Bernier out there.
Puck is sent in, takes a great bounce. Bernier backhand shot, rebound, and he shot it wide. Oh, it doesn't come any closer as it took a crazy hop off one of the stanchions right onto the stick, and here come Hull now. Fougier was playing the puck, and Villeneuve will pound him into the end boards. The action picks up. Still the same result, though, for the Mooseheads. They can't buy one. Trailing 2-0. Here's a chance. Oh, showstopper saved there by Lavallee. And the rebound scooped up, and here's the feed ahead, but the Mooseheads can't jump on the loose puck. Sam Roberts will thread the needle ahead to Brent Roach. He boots it inside the line. Now centered it off his skate. They whack away at it. And Lavallee able to close the door and hang on.
Great scoring opportunity at one end by Marc-Andre Bernier, who just missed the net. And then two great scoring opportunities nullified by Guillaume Lavallee in the Halifax Moosehead net as Dale Sullivan looks for his second goal of the game. Watch the pass out front. And there's a quick shot on the net by Brent Roach. Having a great playoffs as well. Out for a few games with a concussion.
And the puck moved in deep by the Hull Olympic. Lavallee will set it up there for Alexander Picard. Mooseheads trail 2-0. As we approach the 6-minute mark off the second period. Randy Upshaw has trouble. Here comes Daou down the right wing. Sepper scores! Daou to the top shelf on the turnover. 3-0. Hull lead it.
The Olympic know that Guillaume Lavallee goes down early, and Daou makes a nice play, pulls the puck in, off the turnover at the blue line. Watch the move he makes here, quick snapshot. Lavallee didn't really know whether to expect the pass or take the shot. Watch the play, and really that's a sniper-type goal by Jean-Michel Daou, his 12th of the playoffs.
Well, and it gives the Hull Olympic a 3-goal lead and a huge goal for Jean-Michel Daou. His 12th off the playoffs. And it's a tough break for the Mooseheads. They're going to have to try to claw back. As Davis now gets to the line, has a stick held up, takes a shot there, missing. Preston looking to play the loose puck off the boards. And Davis will wrap his man up. Preston takes the puck, centered it. And nobody home for the Mooseheads. And here comes Desalliers. Stopped on the rush, and it's Davis back to pick it up, and Moosehead trail 3-0. They did have some good scoring chances, but it's the Olympic who capitalized. Davis ahead to McLean. He'll rifle one in. Stopped by the goaltender LaFrance. Davis will go in and pick it up on the end boards. George Davis will work out of the corner. Centering pass. Villeneuve backhand shot missing. Kent now on the loose puck now for the Mooseheads. Desperately needing a goal here. And the puck picked up by Kent. Waiting. looking to set up his man. Davis making a change, and the puck is forced out. And again, we see the Mooseheads ball looking to force the issue.
Well, that's not a bad play by George Davis. The play is in the opposition zone. That's when you make your change. You have the puck in the opposition zone, so keep it deep.
Well, we see Benedict now on a line with Kent and Freddie Cabana. So the Mooseheads, all kinds of line juggling. And all of a sudden, that depth seems to be missing here as Cabana comes in over the line. There's the pass. Benedict, though, had it stripped away from him. And the puck off the boards and down the ice. Jimmy Sherrill back to collect it for the Mooseheads. To Cabana. Line pass for Kent. Kent checked by Belmar, as again it looks like Hull with a bit more jump. Here comes Cabana, in over, ties the shot, deflected wide. We're going to have a penalty call here, and it couldn't come at a better time if you're the Halifax Mooseheads.
Frederick Cabana again showing some nice work, and his work ethic is second to none on the Moosehead team. As a 16-year-old, he drives for the net very hard, has some great offensive instincts, and the stick gets up on Frederick Cabana. He controlled the puck. Jonathan Belmar puts the hook on Frederick Cabana, and there's your first power play of the evening, and a great opportunity for the Mooseheads to break the goose egg being thrown at them by Eric Lafrance.
Face-off is going to be to the left. Off goaltender Eric Lafrance, who has been unbeaten so far. Here's McRae's shot, and a stick saved by Lafrance. J.F. Sear picks it up off the boards. Gannett to Kent. Kent in back of the goal. He's hammered off the puck by Wagner. And this Hull Olympic team quickly keep the heat on the Mooseheads. They will not let them get it set up. Sear, though, with a chance. Walks out. In front. Gannett couldn't force it by Lafrance. And again, that bit of a hesitation by Sear. And back for the Mooseheads, Steve Villeneuve. He'll wind it up now deep inside his own blue line. Villeneuve off his center ice. Gets it back once again, and he'll slam it in around the boards. Gannett will race across to pick it up. Kent can't play it either. Ken McRae, and the Mooseheads forced back to their own blue line. Here's Steve Villeneuve at the blue line. He'll spot McRae with it. He dances in over the blue line. McRae checked by Tyler Reed, able to avoid the hit. Now it's McRae off the boards, looking to work it across the blue line to Villeneuve. He has trouble having the puck behave for him. Finally to Gannett. Now to J.F. Sear. Tenacious forecheck. Kent tried to go short side. Out front! Shot there by Sear. Block. Wagner looking to slow the play down. Here's Sear. He'll look to wrap it around. He lifts it way over top of the goal. And the face-off will be awarded outside the line.
Finally some pressure by the Mooseheads on the power play. Penalty not up on the board. I believe about 50 seconds left in the Moosehead power play opportunity. Look at the work by Kent. Throws it out in front. And Sear just misses the shot. And Sear had a great shift. Keep it going, boys. Build on that. Try to pot one and try to get the other two later.
Benedict, McRae, and Bernier. Or rather, Bell, Benedict, and Marc-Andre Bernier with Milan Urchina and Alexander Picard. The fifth wheel out on the ice for the Halifax Mooseheads. And it's Thatcher Bell looking to get it in the backhand. Can't. Worked across center ice, and Milan Urchina will skate across to pick it up for the Mooseheads. Now to Picard. Picard will lay it across there for Bernier off the end of his stick. And quickly sent back down the ice by the Hull Olympic. And it's Urchina looking to set up on the power play. Urchina comes out behind the goal, and he'll carry the puck to center ice. In over the blue line. Hard drive. Pad save. Big rebound, and nobody charging the net for the Mooseheads. Picard spots Thatcher Bell. He banks it in off the board, but again, the Mooseheads not in to put any kind of pressure on, and they look to be just kind of sitting back again. 3-0, Hull lead it. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
I researched into all sorts of different schools. I wanted something different and exciting. I got the hands-on experience that companies look for.
Tuition is really affordable. I won't have a huge student debt when I come out. I'll just have a good career. I recommend college to anyone who wants a great career.
NSCC, education that works for you.
Days Inn, the official hotel of the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles, welcomes hockey players and fans throughout Atlantic Canada to stay with them when visiting Sydney. A proud sponsor of this exciting program. Days Inn.
Hi everybody, Dan Robertson here at ice level to let you know what's coming up in the second intermission We'll hear from the commissioner of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, Gilles Courteau. We'll talk about expansion into the United States, as well as a number of other topics. We'll have the highlights from the first period. Scott Squires will be back in the stands with the fans, and much more. You're watching the Q League playoffs on Eastlink Television right here at home.
Puzzling look on head coach Sean McKenzie's face as he tries to get his team headed in the right direction. Lots of pressure. Game 7. Penalty is over. Trip to the Memorial Cup, a President's Cup. Everything on the line here tonight. 3-0. Hull in control. Puck is tapped ahead to George Davis. Out on a line with A.J. McLean and Freddie Cabana. And it's been quite some time since we've seen Peter Verana. As Cabana looks to push the puck ahead. Get some help from A.J. McLean. It's back inside the line and turning with it, Randy Upshaw. Sent ahead on the backhand. It's A.J. McLean working it in. Hit by Sam Roberts. The fronts out of the goal to work it around the boards. Jimmy Sherrill now will jump in from the blue line. Trying to put the pressure on this Hull Olympic team. Randy Upshaw, no lane to the net, so he'll work it around the boards. Again, the bouncing puck picked up there by Belmare. And it looks like the Hull Olympic beating the Mooseheads to the open space as Lebrec comes in over the line, but it's going to be called on the offside.
Guillaume Lebrec makes that little move at the blue line again, forcing an offside. And Lebrec has had a solid playoff run for the Olympic. He's got 9 points in 19 games. More of a checking role for Guillaume. Wears number 11 and plays center. And he is out of Laval, Quebec.
Face off on the Moosehead side of center. And it's Steve Villeneuve taking control here. His club trailing 3-0 against the Hull Olympic. As again, the Mooseheads work it in over the line, but no further. And Hull take it over, and they'll send it right back to Villeneuve off the Mooseheads. He'll go across to Picard, tries to set up Verana. That doesn't work. Here comes Belmare in, faking. Oh, good effort there by Steve Villeneuve. But again, the Mooseheads turn it over. Lavallee, great glove stop. And he'll hang on.
Two great plays on that 2-on-1 by the Halifax Mooseheads. Steve Villeneuve takes the shot away from Jonathan Belmare. The puck comes back to the point. There's a one-time slap shot. Guillaume Lavallee flashes the leather and puts up the plywood, makes a great save. Dale Sullivan just to the side of the net, looking for the rebound. No rebound. Door shut by Guillaume Lavallee.
Face-off will be to the right of Guillaume Lavallee. Mooseheads with the 20-year-old line out once again. It's Benedict racing down the wing. Knocked off the puck. McRae tries to fight through. And here comes Jeff Smith. He'll send it rink wide. Bobby Clark thought about jumping up. There's the drop pass to Pui. Wired one off a stick and out of play again with 8:15 to go here in the middle period. One goal to report Daou, his 12th.
Dupuis with a big goal in last night's game out of Laval, Quebec as well. Where's number 10? 6 feet tall, 195 pounds. He's played this year as a 17-year-old. Again, that talks a lot about how young this team actually is.
Again, the face-off to the left off Guillaume Lavallee. Talbot will take the draw against A.J. McLean. One cleanly by Talbot. Back to the line. Hard shot in Lavallee with a stop, but it didn't look pretty as he was backing up again into the crease ball.
Something we didn't see a whole lot out of Guillaume in the playoffs. Something we haven't seen in this series as well is the Mooseheads losing the majority of the face-offs in their own zone. But one good thing they're doing, when they lose the face-off, they're clearing the zone and letting Guillaume Lavallee see the shot from the point.
Well, they're losing in just about every aspect of the hockey game tonight, and that will have to change if they hope to turn the tide. Here they come, right down the middle. Thatcher Bell will push it ahead for Cabana for Benedict. Benedict knocked to the ice. A.J. McLean now out, so Coach McKenzie really trying to send a new wrinkle out here as Cabana charges the goal. A.J. McLean hauled down by Smith, and rather by Dominic Damore. And we'll get a stoppage in play.
Well, I think if there's going to be any life at all injected here in the second, it's going to be guys like Benedict, McLean, Cabana, George Davis, Jimmy Sherrill. Sherrill gets that puck and dangles with it up in the Olympic zone. He can get the fans here at the Metro Centre on their feet. So it's these 5 guys here, plus the rest of them, that really have to take it upon themselves to get their team in the game.
Well, now they're going to try Stuart McRae in the middle of Gannett and Sear. And we'll see if Thatcher Bell will return on a line with Derek Kitt, Marc-Andre Bernier. Somewhere searching for the right combinations. Sean McKenzie will continue to try his luck till they perhaps get a goal. 7 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the middle period. Here comes McRae. He looks to carry it out. Takes the slash from Dale Sullivan. J.F. Sear now will take it and send it across the ice for Bobby Clark. Clark will leave it for Gannett. Now sent around the boards by Clark to Sear. Out front, McRae. Shot! Save made! And Eric Lafrance, standing tall in the net tonight for the Hull Olympic, has played perhaps his best hockey game so far.
He's not been tested a whole lot, Ken. He plays well, makes a save, but they have to give him some more pressure.
Well, another close call. They're all going in the favor of Hull. They lead it 3-0. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
Outdoor enthusiasts everywhere are turning to Trailblazer for quality outdoor products. Look for Trailblazer products at Canadian Tire, Kent, Home Hardware, Central Home Improvement Warehouse, Piercy's, and other fine retailers. Trailblazer, a proud sponsor of this telecast.
Face off to the left of Guillaume Lavalin. Again, another close call by the linesman. They called it offside, and here comes Jimmy Sherrill. Sherrill gets in over the line and lowers the shoulder. Now to Bell. The shot, and an awkward stop by Lafrance. He took it high off the shoulder. Picard shooting. Save made. Rebound. Diving was Lafrance, and he pounces on that puck as the Mooseheads continue to get good scoring chances.
Jimmy Sherrill jumps up in the play nicely. I just finished talking about him about 3 minutes ago. He gets the zone, pushes the defense back. Here's the end of the play. A bouncing puck. Bernier looking for the rebound. He's effectively tied up by the defenseman, and Lafrance jumps in and covers up. But Jimmy Sherrill takes the puck over. Nice little drop pass to Thatcher Bell, and Bell wires one on Lafrance. So Sherrill really is trying to get everybody going here, and he's got the offensive skill to do it.
A.J. McLean beaten very cleanly on this faceoff once again, out on a line with Cabana and Brandon Benedict, and then the Hull Olympic just fire the puck out of play. So they'll line up again inside the line. And going back, Paul, to that last goal scored by Jean-Michel Daou, I think it's maybe one that Guillaume Lavalin would like to have back, beaten from long range, high over the shoulder. And
that's right, Daou. He's a sniper. 12 goals now, 36 points in the playoffs, a plus 23 rating. Lavalin may have been anticipating the pass in that play.
Bernier, Bell, and Kent now. These guys work well together. And we'll see what they can get out of them here, desperately needing offense. Bernier angling it off the boards. Kent can't play it cleanly. Here's Brunel. The back feed for Talbot. He's hit there by Villeneuve. And Bernier will take the puck and slide it up here, far side. Bell in traffic, bounces it back. And again, the Mooseheads, rather than going forward, forcing to bring it back inside the line with that tenacious forecheck by the Hull Olympic. O'Brien back for Sam Roberts. He'll go rink wide onto the stick there of Olivier Labelle. 2-on-1. Talbot there's the pass. Lavalin gets a piece of it again as he's deep in his crease. Labelle again steps out of the corner. Shot tight angle. Save made by Guillaume Lavalin. Villeneuve being worked over there by Talbot. Now to Marc-Andre Bernier. Bernier, he's being worked over, and Labelle will pick that puck up and try to walk out. Good body check by Ursina as he falls to the ice. Again, the battle pursues along the end boards. Labelle going right at Milan Urchina, and he's definitely been a target here in this series. There's a shot! Oh, and that might have caught a piece of Lavalin. Nonetheless, it comes awfully close there. Thatcher Bell in over the blue line for Bernier. He's effectively taken out, but here's Upshaw, snapping one, and that is blockered away by the goaltender Lafrance. On the rebound, Verana turning, he moved out, Peter Verana!
Finally, the Mooseheads are able to get on the board. The play developed in the Moosehead zone. A nice tip off the board by Thatcher Bell up to F.P. Gannett to gain control in the Olympic zone. There's the hit that they take. Peter Vrana, the offensive rookie of the year and rookie of the year, throws it on the net. There's only one spot for that to go, and that was through the 5-hole. And Peter Vrana is the sniper, and he just sniped one for the Halifax Mooseheads.
Big goal at a big time through the 5-hole. Mooseheads finally on the board. We'll see how they react as this crowd finally with something to cheer about. It's a 3-1 Hull lead now, and they turn it up ice to the Hull Olympic. Doug O'Brien chipping it ahead. Wavier remains onside, and Jimmy Sherrill now will hand the puck off to Randy Upshaw. Sent up the sidewall and down the ice. Tyler Reed races against to pick it up, and it's going to be an icy call against the Mooseheads.
Well, Peter Vrana picks up the goal, and that would be Peter's 5th goal of the playoffs. Checked effectively throughout, but a great goal there for Peter Vrana to get his team on the scoreboard, really injecting all kinds of life into their veins here with about 5 minutes left in the second period. There's all kinds of time left in the second period. You don't have to tie the game up here. Pot another one before the end of the second. Even if you don't, play a solid momentum shift type of last 5 minutes.
And here's Freddie Cabana now to gobble up the loose puck on the backhand up to Benedict. He dangerously threw it to the center of the ice, but it does get outside the line. Sent back in by Nick Fagier. And the Mooseheads now will try to move the puck out. They have trouble once again controlling it. And a chance now. The backhand wide open net. They score. Careless play inside the line. Just when they get the momentum, it's snapped right away from them once again.
Well, I think we have to realize, if you're the Mooseheads, that this team has unbelievable offensive skill. Get the puck out of your zone quick. Peter Vrana cut into the lead, and really that was something the Mooseheads really had to build on. Olivier LaBelle picks the pocket of Clark, and in comes Nick Fagier. And I don't think Nick Fagier probably has scored any bigger goal than that goal there. In fact, that's Nick's 3rd goal of the playoffs, 1st point of this series.
Well, Bobby Clark, to say the least, struggling in this hockey game tonight. Been out for at least 2 goals. And the Mooseheads again will look for that right combination. As that long shot is handled by LaFrance. Derek Kent tries to shake the check from Wagner. And Milan Jurchina will trap that onto his stick. And he'll back up again inside his own line. Watched by Talbot. Nice lead pass ahead for Marc-Andre Bernier. Bernier now will race in over the blue line. Nice play by Kent to hang on side, but they don't get any further. And you can certainly imagine the Hull Olympic Paul will go to that trap with a 3-goal lead once again. Here's Talbot working it in deep. Oh, they score! It's all Hull here. Unbelievable turn of events here for the Metro Centre as the Mooseheads, just a team that looks like definitely unorganized.
Well, again, fatigue may be setting in, Ken, against a quicker Olympic team, and they score 2 goals in a span of only 39 seconds. Last night they scored 3 goals in 3.5 minutes. Here's the play as Scherer was out-muscled, and Talbot over to Brunel. Again, Brunel makes no mistake. And how often has the Hull Olympic done that throughout the playoffs? Coming into tonight's game, they recorded 110 points. Brunel, Talbot, and Daou. And there's 2 more for sure. Brunel from Talbot.
5-1 is the score, and this hockey game taking on a bit of a look as Game 7 did in Baie-Comeau in favor of the road team there, the Halifax Mooseheads. Here's a chance now, the Mooseheads looking to reply. They're going to say that puck came outside the line. 5-1 Hull lead it. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
Wood Motors Ford, proud sponsors of the Halifax Mooseheads. Drop by and check out our sale on Ford trucks. For cars and trucks, you'll always get a great deal at Wood Motors Ford. Where else?
So it's 5-1 here, and this crowd of 10,000 plus has been quieted by a flurry of goals here by the Hull Olympic, Paul. And we had talked at the start of the broadcast. That is definitely something the Mooseheads would have to do, and it's something they have not done.
Well, that's right, Ken, and they have all kinds of energy, the Olympic. And down on the ice, I believe, is Lebrec, who went into the boards awkwardly. Foot may have caught a rut. He just fell into the boards, and that, to me, looks like it could be a shoulder injury. He's in all kinds of discomfort as he just tried to gain the side boards and look for the clearing pass. But as you mentioned, Ken, the Olympics have all kinds of energy, and really, yes, last night's game and tonight's game have brought it to the Halifax Mooseheads.
Well, and certainly not to fault anybody, Paul, but looking at some of the goals that Lavallee has given up. Again, he's been caught deep in his crease and a bit unsure, of course, but as we see the injured player, Lebrec, falling awkwardly into the boards there, and he is being attended to.
Well, Kent, the Mooseheads really are keeping. There's a couple ways to look at that. Lavallee is backing in a little bit, but again, so are the Moosehead defensemen backing in, not standing up Hull at the blue line. Hull seemed content to get the blue line and then slow the play down. The Mooseheads, on the other hand, when they get in the Olympic zone, they seem to go full bore ahead instead of trying to pull back and try to get a scoring opportunity in that manner. If you can get control of the blue line, run parallel to the blue line for 3 or 4 feet, let your winger curl in, then take the shot, I think he can have a little bit more success. So Lavallee is battling a couple things there. He's battling his defense coming in on him, and he's also battling the quicker Olympic players pressuring him, looking for a rebound. So that's something that he really hasn't had to contend with, and it's something that I hope will be changed in the intermission.
Well, look for this Moosehead Hockey Club just to kind of pick away. They're down by 4, and certainly capable of putting up some big numbers, so they've got to tighten it up defensively and charge the goal. But here's Fougier, and man, have these guys stepped it up for Hull, the unknown players. The balanced scoring we talked about. Although Brunel has contributed a pair, Sullivan has got one in Fougier, and that was a big goal. It's Milan Jurchina sending it across. Here's FP Gannett. Gannett is simply just banged off the puck by Wagner. And again, the Mooseheads very slow to react as Gannett had a couple of guys open.
Let's quickly recap the 3 goals. Vrana's 5th from Upshaw and Gannett at the 14:53 mark. Made it 3-1. Metro Centre really started to rock. Then Nick Fougier took the momentum away with his 3rd goal from LaBelle. And here's the hit on Gannett by Wagner. Takes Gannett heavily to the ice. And then 39 seconds later, Matthew Brunel with goal number 22 has made it 5-1.
Shot fired right on. Save made by LaFrance as Cabana put in a headlock, and Stuart McRae will try to work the puck out of the corner. McRae bounced off the puck by Wagner. He's lost his helmet. He'll have to head off in a change. Chance for the Mooseheads here with an odd man rush. Here's McRae. Tried to walk out of the corner. Benedict there as well. And he's tied up. McRae will pick up where he left off. Now Cabana strides in. Tries to fight off the check there from Talbot. Knocked to the ice. And then the puck is sent down. Lavallee will race out as Brunel up to try to check him. Puck is sent back in by the Hull Olympic. It'll be an offside, but the Moosehead will skate it back outside the line. Benedict being held there. Simply turns it over. And the puck is sent back in by the Hull Olympic. Around the boards for Freddie Cabana, slashing it to the open side. Bell will come off the bench. Too late though, and Bellemare will send it up, kept in at the line. Turning with the puck, Cabana out on a long shift, trying to centering the puck. Knocked to the ice, here's a chance. Oh, stop there, Bernier robbed by Eric Lafrance.
Bernier goes down low with the puck, and Lafrance simply decides to take the lower part of the net away. And again, the Mooseheads with some pressure, and Bernier with a good scoring chance. The puck is worked by Thatcher Bell out in front quickly. The puck rolling, really hard to control that and get the puck up high. Bernier does what you're supposed to do and put the puck on the net. But unluckily for the Mooseheads, he was not able to corral that rolling puck and get a quality shot on the net.
Face-off will be to the left of Eric Lafrance. Derek Kent against Maxime Talbot. And again, Hull, like they've done throughout this hockey game, win the face-off, and Brunel will turn it up ice. Gets in over the line, dumping it off. Maxime Talbot couldn't move any farther on it, and here come the Mooseheads. Less than a minute now as the puck is pushed ahead by Kent. Going to the net, Thatcher Bell. Loose puck in the crease. They look to whack at it, but they cannot get a handle on it. Back to your cheetah. Fires one way wide of the net. Jimmy Sherrill again off the line. Pretty stiff elbow to Matthew Brunel. They continue to work it here. And then the puck simply flipped out by the Hull Olympic in good position. And a chance now, they come 2-on-1. Talbot will take the feed. Can't get the shot off. As Maxime Talbot is roughed up by Milan Jurchina. Back to the line, Jeff Smith will wire one, pad stop. Big rebound, they score! Bellemare beating Lavallee cleanly.
Bellemare puts it upstairs. Really no chance for Lavallee. The Mooseheads' feet are simply not moving in here tonight, and it's really Seems like they're not moving at all against this much quicker and fresher team. And they're teeing it up from the point. There's the rebound. And there's 4 Mooseheads there standing around, but Bellemare, he's a goal scorer. He makes no mistake. He wires that. There's only about 8 to 10% of the net shown by Guillaume Lavallee, and he makes no mistake. Matthew Brunel, and again, 6-1 in favor of the visiting Olympique.
Well, not too many happy people here tonight in the Halifax Metro Centre. That goal coming with just 19 seconds to play in the second period. And again, a goal beating Lavallee high and over the shoulder. As Jeff Smith, long shot from outside the line. That's going to do it here for the second period. 6-1, if you can believe it, in favor of the Hull Olympique, and they look like they're on their way to the MasterCard Memorial Cup.
Coming into the second period, they had a 2-goal lead. They upped the lead to 3-0. Jean-Michel Daou picked up his 12th. Then Brana scored at the 14:53 mark, gives some life to the Mooseheads. And then it was all Hull Olympique again. Fougier, Brunel, and Jonathan Bellemare late in the second period. And there's your score after 40 minutes. Hull 6, Halifax 1.
And we'll be back with our second period intermission. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
Welcome back, everyone. The magic appears to be running out for the Halifax Mooseheads as they trail 6-1 now after 2 periods of play. And Jason, we talked about fatigue, and it just seems that Hull is winning every battle. They're getting the rebounds. They're beating the Mooseheads to the puck in the Moosehead end. I don't know what more we can say.
Yeah, I don't know. They're playing. Hull's playing their game. They're fast, speedy, skilled team, and they're relentless on the forechecks, and it's just, it's really paying off for them right now.
Can you see a lot of fatigue with the Mooseheads? I mean, it comes out, I guess, in mental and physical mistakes.
I think, honestly, you can see it. I mean, on their back checks right now, you look, and the guys are tired. The guys are, they're tired, and you can tell.
How do you feel? I mean, as a player, you go out and it's 6-1. Third period, obviously you gotta go after it, but down 5, it has to be hard to get into it.
Oh, it's definitely going to be hard, especially that last one. Maybe 5-1, you still got a chance, but that last one really hurt them. But it's also, they're going for a championship here, so I mean, can't really, it's never over. But I mean, they really gotta come out and really play a good hard 20 minutes, and
Coming into this series, Hull, I think, weren't expected to win. A lot of people said that the team that comes out of this conference, the Dilio rather, will win it. Yeah, and they beat Bécamo 7-1, of course. Yeah. But Hull just shows you, if you work hard, again, they have some big name players, but a lot of guys who just do their job.
That's right. It's a consistent effort, and a hard-working team with talent will always be a talented team. And that's what that's not necessarily what's going on tonight, because Halifax has depth and they have a lot of talented players and hard workers. But Hull has not quit, hasn't stopped skating, and that's their asset, is their speed, and they're exploiting it right now. And the Mooseheads were I think a little fatigue, and they're struggling in their own end getting the puck out, and that's where Hull is effective.
Would you expect to see Jonathan Boutin goal in the third?
Most likely, I think, and I think that probably give Lavallee a little break, but I mean, it's a tough call. It could be his last game in Halifax. He never knows, a 20-year-old, who comes back or not. So it'll be interesting to see.
That's Jason Troini. We'll hear from him after the game. When we come back, we'll speak with the commissioner of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, Gilles Courteau. You're watching the Q League playoffs on Eastlink Television right here at home. Well, some fans are leaving, but those folks are sticking in as the Mooseheads, boy, they're behind the 8 ball now, trailing 6-1 after 2 periods of play. We're joined now by the league commissioner, Gilles Courteau, and let's talk about expansion into the United States. Plattsburgh Pioneers back in the 80s, but the Lewiston Maniacs will play next year, the former Sherbrooke Castor, and how do you think that'll turn out?
Well, I think that's going to be very good, because as you may be aware of, Lewiston, Maine has been knocking at our doors, for the last, couple of years, more than, 5 or 7 years. There's been a couple of possibilities for them to get a major junior franchise, and they get one last spring with the transfer of the relocation, I should say, of Sherbrooke to Lewiston, Maine, and the response from the population down there has been very good. So far, they're over 2,000 season tickets sold, and it's very good. The talk of the hockey club down there is very popular.
Now, I heard rumors, and maybe it's just that, but maybe Raymond Bourque would buy a franchise, put it in Boston. Any chance of that in the near future?
Well, what happened is when Ray made a decision to get retired about an active player, what he told me at that time, he said, give me a year, and after that, I might come back to the table and see what are the possibilities. But I think that with the fact that we have a franchise in Lewiston, Maine, he's going to have a look at it very seriously, and some of his friends as well, like Steve Casper and Joe Crowder, is going to have a look at it too. So it might be very interesting. But first of all, I think we have to put the Lewiston franchise on a very solid basis.
There's a nice building opened up now in St. John, New Brunswick. What do you know about that? Maybe in a couple of years, will we have a team there, and who might it be?
Well, in last August, what we did with the team owners and the Board of Governors, we put up what we can say as a 5-year business plan. And part of it is we've put a cap at 6 teams in the Atlantic territory. And right now, there's an open market in St. John, New Brunswick, and I cannot guarantee that St. John's going to get a major junior franchise within a year or two. But what I can say is we won't let this building empty very long.
Well, listen, we're running short of time, and good luck with the Memorial Cup, and still packages available. And even if the Mooseheads aren't there, the Coliseum, it's a great place to see it. But thanks for your time. We'll see you on the ice awarding the trophy here at the end of the game.
Pleasure.
Gilles Courteau, the commissioner of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Let's go now to Scott Squires.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Well, things continue to be very exciting here at the Halifax Metro Centre. And if you're wondering what all that noise is about, it's these particular things to my left right here. I've got Jack with me. First of all, Jack, what do you got going on there?
Oh, just handing out as many thunder sticks as I can. Here you go, young man. And getting ready for the game. We need all the support from everybody tonight.
Well, going back into the next period, it should be very exciting. And over here we've got David. David, are you a diehard Moose fan?
Oh, yeah, we are. We're diehard, whole family.
Now, what exactly, other than being a big fan of Game 7 here tonight, what exactly are you doing here?
Well, we're passing out the thunder sticks, making sure everybody makes some noise. We're trying to get everybody pumped, the team pumped, and I don't think we'll have too much trouble doing that.
And a member of the fan club, what's that all about?
It's fun. It's a big family that we road trips and everything. We just have a great time. Yeah, we're here to support the boys.
Well, they continue to pass out the thunder sticks for lots more noise in the Halifax Metro Centre. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home. Welcome back to the Halifax Metro Centre. I've got some great Mooseheads fans with me. This is Brittany. How you doing, Brittany?
Good.
So are you a huge Mooseheads fan?
Yeah.
Yeah? So talk about who you think, how you think Halifax is going to do for the end of the game tonight, Game 7.
I think we're going to do good. I think we'll beat Hull and go to Memorial Cup. Not sure how well we'll do there, but I think we'll make it.
So you're a season ticket holder. You come to the Mooseheads games all the time. Let's have a look at that sign you got there. Why don't you tell us what it says?
Go Moose Go. Alex Picard all the way with Lavallee, and then you have to look at the other side.
Oh, there's another side. Okay.
We want Colby.
Oh, there we go. Colby McIntyre fans, hoping to see him later on in the period. And tell me about some of your friends that you got with you here.
That's my friend Sam.
This is Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
And?
Taylor.
How you doing, Taylor?
Great.
Now, let me guess. Do you hang out outside the dressing room after the game trying to get autographs?
Yeah.
Yeah? And who are you going to be hanging out? Whose autograph are you going to be trying to get tonight, or do I need to ask?
Alex Picard, Colby McIntyre, and Kyle Doucette.
All right, well, how about on a 3, we got a big Go Moose Go, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Go Moose Go!
Lots of excitement here at the Metro Centre. Let's go back to the studio now and Dan Robertson.
Thanks, Scott. And Scott spoke with those people before the game. I'm not sure if they're so excited now, but great job by Scott Squires. We want to remind you of our viewer response line, 1-888-354-8439 is the number to call to offer your opinion on anything you see here on Eastlink Television. And we're pleased to bring you this game to our systems in Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island through Eastlink's fiber optic network. A tough hill for the Mooseheads to climb going into the third period as they trail it 6-1 to the Hull Olympiques.
Period highlights are brought to you by the Credit Unions of Nova Scotia.
Full service banking available at over 75 locations in Nova Scotia. RRSPs, credit cards, internet banking, mortgages. Surprised? Shouldn't be. Credit Unions of Nova Scotia. Our business is banking. Our focus is people.
Well, it was all the black and silver in that middle period, Paul, and here's our highlights.
Here's a chance by the Mooseheads. They were trailing 2-0 at this point. LaFrance made the nice save. Here is the first goal of the period. Watch the play by Jean-Michel Daou. He's a sniper, and he sniped one there up over the left shoulder, and Lavallee perhaps anticipated the pass. Another chance by the Mooseheads trying to somehow solve the puzzle of Eric Lafrance, and Jean-Francois Cyr with a nice chance. Here's a save by Guillaume Lavallee, again keeping his team in the hockey game, only down by a goal, 3 goals at that point. Peter Vrana gets some life into the Halifax Metro Centre, going 5-hole, and that made it 3-1. Then immediately after that, Nick Fougier, with only his third of the playoffs, stepping up to the plate to regain the 3-goal lead. And then only 39 seconds after that, Matthew Brunel, the scoring machine for the Hull Olympics, takes a one-time pass from Martin Wagner and beats Guillaume Lavallee, and that made it 5-1. Then very late in the second period, Jonathan Bellemare just wires one. Just a beautiful shot, his 9th of the playoffs. Daou, Fougier, Brunel, and Bellemare for the Olympiques. Vrana for the Mooseheads, 16-13. But look at the times of the goals. Again, scoring 3 goals in less than 4 minutes. After 2 periods, it's 6-1 for the Hull Olympiques.
Well, you've got to, I guess, if you're the Halifax Mooseheads, try to remain positive. Stranger things have happened, and hope you get off to a good start. Get a couple of quick ones, and you never know. Just continue to forge forward. But it seems at this point in time, 6-1, that, you know, it may be out of reach, but again, and that's why they're going to play the third period.
And again, Ken, we're talking down there, press row there in the intermission. Mooseheads playing, I believe, their 21st game in 39, 40, 41 days. So it's bound to catch up to you. And so far, it's been a great run. But now put everything together and throw everything at the Olympics.
Puck is chipped in by the Mooseheads, rolling to the front. He'll leave it for Wagner. And if you're the Hull Olympic, you're going to want to keep that clock rolling. Yeah, the quicker it ends, the quicker. And better for you as Daou comes in over the line. Yurchina can't line him up in the sights. And it's Clark there to pick it up now for the Halifax Mooseheads. Set off the boards. Benedict can't handle it. Loose at center. As Peter Vrana overskates it. And here come the Hull Olympic once again, sending it up ahead. Oh, there's a good hit as Sullivan was lined up by Milan Yurchina. Bobby Clark now at his line. Gets it up and over. But an offside going to be called against the Mooseheads.
Sullivan definitely felt the effects of that hard hit in the center zone by Milan Yurchina. And get the line if you're the Olympic. Don't be carrying that puck in. You have a 5-goal lead. Dump it deep and hope for the best. And Lebrecht back out on the ice for the Olympic. Went heavily into the boards in the second period, and we felt he may have been out with a shoulder injury.
Here comes Jimmy Sherrills. He tries to take matters into his own hands, but can't get any farther than the line, and Hull chip it back out. Again, another good hit thrown by the Mooseheads. Dupuis, though, will continue on inside the line. Peter Vrana knocked down from behind, and here comes FP Gannett. Gannett will stride in over the blue line to the backhand, now to the forehand. We'll try to pass it in front. Here's a chance. Cyr, though, can't trap that onto his stick. J.F. Cyr looks to back it up, then the puck is just shoveled down the ice by the Hull Olympic. Icing called against Hull.
The Mooseheads, having the puck deep in the Olympic zone, are effectively tied up by the defenseman for the Olympic. And Tyler Reed again seeing a lot of ice time, as is Steve Villeneuve, his 55 counterpart on the Mooseheads. But Tyler Reed and Wagner will see probably 8 to 12 minutes each of ice time here in the third.
We've, well, it says we played 59 seconds, but I'm pretty sure, Paul, we played a little more than that in this third period.
Now it's going up, Ken. They're running it almost like international hockey. It's up to 19-13. I believe you'll see a minute taken off of that as we've played at least a minute and 45 seconds.
Well, they're doing whatever they can to try to help the cause here tonight, but not the first night they've incurred problems with the new clock at center ice. As we get this straightened out and get set for the face-off to the right of Eric LaFrance. 6-1 is the score. Hull leading.
And again, 2 in the first period. Sullivan opened the scoring. Brunel with number 21 made it 2-0. And Daou with his 12th made it 3-0. Talbot picking up an assist on Brunel and Daou's goal. Then Vrana made it 3-1. Fougier from LaBelle, Brunel from Wagner, and Bellemare from Smith and Daou has been your scoring here in the game, and that's how we stand 6-1. So Talbot with 2 more points, up to 44 in the playoffs. And Daou with another couple points as well, giving him a 37, and Brunel with the 2 points, giving him 37 in the playoffs. So this line keeps rolling right along now with 116 points for the Hull Olympic.
Looks like they're ready to go as the clock has a minute knocked off it, and that's where it looks like it's going to stay. And it's the Hull Olympic who start up ice as they're in command of the game. The puck is shoveled into the corner. Played off the boards. The Mooseheads look to push it out. Bernier in traffic, can't. Now Jordy Preston gets tangled up with the referee Jean Houle. As Maxime Talbot now will let it roll through. Randy Upshaw at center ice. He'll dump it in around the woodwork, and Jordy Preston there to play it as it hop off his stick. Bernier will reach it. Urchina in from the line. Puck sent around the boards. Jordy Preston hit by Sam Roberts. Trying to force the puck out front. Once again, it's Thatcher Bell out front. It comes. And the Mooseheads pitching. Urchina will have to hustle back, and a good play by Milan Urchina. Worked across now to Randy Upshaw. Thatcher Bell now will take the puck for the Mooseheads, and he'll curl at center. Spots McRae with it. He dances in over the line. Tries to shake the check. McRae now will work it off the corner boards. Tied up, and Hull effectively clogging up the lanes for the Mooseheads, and they're not able to accomplish a whole lot so far early in the period.
And again, that's something you're going to see. It's not going to be the best offensive period for the Olympic here. The Mooseheads just have to throw everybody at the net.
Here's McRae looking to wrap the puck out in front, and does. It's off his stick. But Carrot can't keep it in, so he'll have to skate back and pick it up as Bobby Clark has it. Nice feed across for Thatcher Bell. Bell drops it for McRae. Knocked to the ice, and McRae will continue on for the Mooseheads. Nice pass to the line. Villeneuve way wide of the mark there as McRae again effectively tied up by the Hull Olympic. And here comes Dupuis. Nice feed across. LaBelle walks in. Oh, and a stop by Lavallee on Olivier LaBelle.
Dupuis definitely paid the price for that chip pass over as Steve Villeneuve raced across and made a nice hit along the sideboards. LaBelle in a little bit too close. And you'll see a lot of that in this period, perhaps some 2-on-1 situations, because the Mooseheads really have no other options but to throw everything at the Olympic. And LaBelle tries to go on the backhand. No chance. There's another save by Guillaume Lavallee.
Face-off will be to the right off of Lavallee. A.J. McLean. Getting set for the face-off. The Mooseheads with only 4 skaters. Now Bobby Clark will come off the bench, and he'll be the 5th wheel now out for the Moosehead. Fougier will push that back to the line. Shot off the stick of Jeff Smith, rolling just wide. Sent around the boards as Fougier again has had a strong game tonight. Couldn't have picked a better time. Here's DeMore into the lineup tonight, trying a shot. That was tipped with traffic in front. Desallier now on the loose puck for the Hull Olympic. Pin there to the boards by A.J. McLean. The puck comes loose. Shot there by Roach. On the short side. Stopped by goaltender Guillaume Lavallee. Bobby Clark high off the glass and outside the line. Cabana looking for the odd man rush. Puck is sent ahead. Here's Cabana. In over the blue line. Brent Roach will skate to him immediately. Benedict will take the puck. His shot deflected. Rolling to LaFrance. Clark up on the rush. Can't get into a shooting position. And it's cleared all the way down the ice. And we're going to have an icing call made here against Hull.
And you'll see a lot of icings in the third period, but Benoit Gruel really, he did a a great job of getting his team ready for this series, really playing up the role of the underdog and coming out here in Game 7. And really, they've taken it to the Mooseheads. Really not tested as much throughout the playoffs to get as far as the Halifax Mooseheads did. Benedict throws it on the net. Cabana looks for the tip in, but Gruel, again, gets his team ready for this series.
Back come the Hull Olympic. LaBelle trying to play that puck just about deflected in back of Lavallee. And he'll continue to keep the play alive. Verana now scoops it up the boards for FP Gannett. Sliding it across, handed on to Randy Upshaw. Upshaw gets in over the blue line, tries to get around the defender. Doug O'Brien in front, center. And LaFrance again will jump on that and stop the play. Hull lead it 6-1. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
What do you think?
Thursday's HFX Entertainment Guide. Another reason to pick up the daily news. Your voice.
So the face-off inside the Hull zone. Villeneuve open at the point, and he'll take the puck, sends it! Oh, and he floats it just over top of the goal. LaFrance looked like he might have been fishing for that one. Unfortunately for the Mooseheads, it's not on goal. Here they come now looking for more. Thatcher Bell, though, can't maintain control. And Steve Villeneuve, again back deep inside his own line. Played just about 5 minutes off this third period. 6-1, Hull leading the hockey game as McRae now for Villeneuve. Villeneuve again forced to back it up as Hull. Great on the forecheck in the hockey game this evening. Thatcher Bell will take the pass from George Davis. McRae goes to the goal. Here's to Davis. Walking in, shot. Sharp angle again, stopped by goaltender LaFrance. Jimmy Sherrill in off the blue line now for the Mooseheads. Nice effort there. Shooting. And that goes wide on the near side. Looking to work out of the corner. Stuart McRae centering pass. Penalty coming here now to the Hull Olympic. It's going to be a holding call and a power play for the Mooseheads.
McRae works the puck from the sideboards over, tries to get into the slot area, and he's hauled down by an Olympic defenseman. Number 7 will get 2 minutes in the penalty box, and that is Sam Roberts. And there's the rookie out of St. John's, Newfoundland, putting the hold on Stuart McRae. And referee Jean Houle makes the call, and the Mooseheads now on the power play.
And here's Villeneuve. Mooseheads are going to have any kind of chance at all. They're going to have to pretty much score here on this power play. Chances Villeneuve's shot is out of play, and the face-off will be rewarded outside the Hull line.
Now the Mooseheads really have to clog up the front of net. And here's where the special teams players like Marc-Andre Bernier with 6 power play goals in 20 games, and Maxime Talbot only 1 shorthanded goal in 19 games for the Olympics. Here's where the power play has to help the Mooseheads.
Well, the huge trade for both hockey clubs at the deadline. And right now it looks to be favoring the Hull Olympic, but to take nothing away for the Mooseheads. They've had a great run at it, and we'll see if they can do any damage here in the third. The pass to Gannett. Gannett jams on the brakes, will slide it ahead, but that is going to be called on the 2-line pass.
Again, no breaks at all going the Mooseheads' way. They're about 1.5 feet from being onside. 2-line pass, blows the whistle, and forces a face-off. So really, it's down to a snail's pace, and that's what the Olympics really want as they look to wrap the series up here this evening in Game 7.
Minute 28 to go with a minor penalty to Sam Roberts off the Hull Olympic. Power play continues here for the Mooseheads. Urchina. And Stuart McRae, and it's McRae that has the puck down. He'll slam it hard around the boards. Benedict, Bernier, and Bell up front. Urchina can't hold it in at the line, and back inside the line. Lavallee will stop it for Stuart McRae, who will wander back and pick it up. Now to Thatcher Bell. Bell will look for some skating room as he comes down the sideboards for Bernier off his skate. And quickly slapped back in off the stick of Dominic Damore off the Hull Olympic. Mooseheads having trouble getting it set up here in the power play. Benedict now comes in over the blue line. Drops it for Thatcher Bell. He gets to the open ice. Shot right on. Glove stopped by LaFrance. And this guy playing like the pro that he is capable of, the 20-year-old veteran. Very calm and cool in between the pipes tonight.
And he gets out a little bit further than he has been in the first 2 periods. With a 5-goal lead, you can really overplay the shooter a little bit more. And Thatcher Bell skates to the middle of the ice. He loses a check. And LaFrance out to the top of the blue ice. Usually he's a little bit further in, but he easily makes that save.
Puck is not cleared out. Milan Urchina drives it. Scores! Urchina! It's a power play goal.
Well, the door's not shut completely on the Halifax Mooseheads yet, as they make it 6-2 with 13:31 left in the third period. And it's time to start making this game a little bit more interesting, as Urchina will walk in, pressure in front of the net. Really, that's a textbook power play goal from the point, but pressure in front, and has made it 6-2.
Well, a lot of empty seats here at the Halifax Metro Centre, but the Mooseheads not ready to give up yet. See if they can strike again quickly, and pull to within 3. So the penalty, a costly one, and here's McRae wheeling with the puck down the right wing boards. Hall to the ice. Following up will be Villeneuve. He'll send it in cross corner. Off the end boards, picked up by George Davis. Good hit there, knocked his man down. In front, McRae shot. Rebound, they try to stuff it in short side. And they come awfully close there. And that was all set up by the big body check throw by George Davis. You'll see the Mooseheads gamble here. Back the other way, Lebrec scores. Guillaume Lebrec beating Lavallee as he's caught again, and it's back to 7-2.
And again, all series, the games that the Olympic has won, they answer most Halifax goals very quickly, and Lebrec, 34 seconds after Urchina's goal, has regained the 5-goal lead. And is thrown over in front, a quick little pass play, and Lebrec slides it in underneath the right pad of Guillaume Lavallee, and again, it's a 5-goal lead, 7-2 in the third period of Game 7 of the President Cup Final of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League.
Jimmy Sherrill will move it down across the line to Randy Upshaw. Upshaw gets to the Hull line, and he'll send it in deep. LaFrance will set it up there. Nearing the 8-minute mark off the third period, 7-2. And it would be hard to believe, Paul, if you said the Mooseheads would give up 7 goals in this hockey game tonight. So strong defensively. But things are not working out tonight in the hockey game.
Again, Ken, we can talk about it, but fatigue has to be setting in, and really, the Mooseheads have given it all they have.
There's Desallier driving a shot there. The pad stopped by Lavallee. Sear can't trap that rebound onto his stick. And at the line, Jeff Smith will poke it back out. And the Hull Olympic will organize inside their own blue line. To Dale Sullivan. And Sullivan fights his way in over the blue line. As Alexander Picard looks to stay with him. In front, Bellemare faking. Now gets to the backhand. Forced wide again by the Mooseheads. And the play stopped once again.
Lebrec from Wagner and Dupuis has again regained the 5-goal lead for the Olympic. And that came 34 seconds after Milan Urchina's 5th goal of the playoffs. And we're down to 11:47 left here in the third period of play. And the face-off will come deep in the Halifax Moosehead zone.
Talbot will take this face-off against A.J. McLean. And Hull certainly has been the better team, without a doubt, here in the hockey game this evening. Capitalizing on mistakes. The Mooseheads are flat-footed. Not a lot of emotion to start the game. And it has cost this hockey club their first Quebec League championship. Hull and the Quebec Ramparts looks like will go on to represent the Quebec League at the MasterCard Memorial Cup. Milan Urchina now taking control of it for the Mooseheads. Sending it across for Brandon Benedict. Drops it there for Bobby Clark, and Clark will bang it in. LaFrance stops it. Mooseheads look to set up as A.J. McLean runs into Demore. And back up ice comes Olivier Lebel. He goes rink wide. And the play, though, going to be called on the offside.
The Olympics first won the President's Cup back in 85-86. Pat Burns, the coach of that team. And they won it again in 87-88. Alain Vigneault coached the Olympics to that title. And then the Hull Olympics again in 94-95. Bob Mongrain, the coach that won the title in 94-95. And again, Claude Julien in 96-97 coached the Olympiques to the President Cup's title. So they're looking for title number 5.
Mooseheads were looking for title number 1. As Derek Kent forced back inside the line. Steve Villeneuve given a bump there by Guillaume Lebrecq. Jimmy Sherrill hops around the check, hit by Dupuis, and now Kent up ahead for Preston. Bernier now will take the feed as he works his way inside the line, wrapped up by Wagner. And Jordy Preston looks to play the loose puck for the Halifax Mooseheads. Nearing the midway point off the third period, icy call coming here against the Hull Olympic.
Again, the Olympic get control, and LaBelle just takes one look, turns and fires down the ice, gets the puck as far away as possible from Eric Lafrance. And there's Philippe Dupuis again having a solid game. Had a great game in last night's game 6. And the 17-year-old with 50 points in the regular season has helped out tonight with an assist.
Well, McCrae Bell on the ice for the Halifax Mooseheads. Of course, they're going to play their last game in a major junior uniform along with Thatcher Bell, Brandon Benedict, and Stuart McCrae, the 3 overagers for the Mooseheads.
And it's going to be hard to believe here tonight that it will be their last game in the Quebec League. Bell playing for 5 years, as has Brandon Benedict, and McCrae for 4. So there's 14 years of experience.
Here comes McCrae in over the line, try to pull it through. It rolls to LaFrance, and he'll stop the play. 7-2. Hull lead it. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
I researched into all sorts of different schools. I wanted something different and exciting. I got the hands-on experience that companies look for.
Tuition is really affordable. I won't have a huge student debt when I come out. I'll just have a good career. I recommend college to anyone who wants a great career.
NSCC, education that works for you.
Days Inn, the official hotel of the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles, welcomes hockey players and fans throughout Atlantic Canada to stay with them when visiting Sydney. A proud sponsor of this exciting program. Days Inn.
Well, it looks like the Hull Olympique will win their 5th ever championship, and after the game we'll get on the ice and get some interviews for you, and time to start thinking, I think, about who will win the Guy Lafleur Trophy as a playoff MVP. Probably Maxime Talbot, who has 44 points in 20 games now. He's been tremendous, but Matthew Bonnell has been good as well. But stay tuned for that in the post game. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
Well, the fans, some of them staying, some of them leaving. And Paul, it's, you can look at it a couple of different ways, but I think this hockey club has treated the Metro fans from all over to a pretty good playoff run, and nothing to hang your heads about. You couldn't finish it up, but they gave a solid effort throughout the playoffs.
Well, they have had an outstanding year here at the Metro Centre and on the road. And they've played some great games here, kept the fans very well entertained here throughout the cold winter months here in Halifax. And again, it's the last game they'll play this season, but it's been a very successful season for the Mooseheads.
Here's J.F. Sear turning with the puck down low, try to force it out front. Net comes flying off its moorings, and we'll get a stoppage as J.F. Sear gets back up, and who knows where we'll see him next year. Some say maybe a Eagles uniform along with, well, Steve Villeneuve, Picard, Bernier, Gannett. Who knows? We'll wait and see, but we do know one thing, the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles going to be a solid hockey club next season.
Well, you have a guy with 18 points in 23 playoff games, 11 goals, 7 assists, and a +9, 6'5", 211 pounds. Sear definitely will play next year in this league as a 20-year-old. Just where he'll end up is what we'll have to wait and see.
And certainly not to be reminiscing or looking back, but I think if you look at that trade, a lot of people criticize Marcel Patnaud, but I think it's going to make the Nova Scotia team strong for the next 3 years. Whether you agree or not, they didn't break any rules. Some of those players will come back and wear a Halifax Mooseheads uniform in 2005.
And getting back to the 20-year-olds, Ken, the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League door is quickly shutting on their careers, very solid careers for all players. And again, it'll be interesting to see where those 3 guys end up next year. A lot of talk about the university route for all 3, and if they do happen to stick around Atlantic Canada and play university, they'll definitely be impact players.
Puck down, controlled by the Mooseheads as Bobby Clark will bang it in and around the boards. Benedict stepped up into his man. Upshaw shot is blocked. Kept in now by Randy Upshaw. He'll work it across. Clark tees it up. Save made LaFrance and deflected out of play again. with 8 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the third period.
Again, the play has really tailed down to a snail's pace. And again, you have to give the Olympics credit. Last night they were up home and 3 goals in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Put that game out of reach. And tonight, really, they've answered anything that the Mooseheads have done. Branna cut into the lead, and then Nick Fougier with only his 3rd goal of the playoffs regained the lead. Urchina gave them a little spark here in the 3rd, and Lebrec immediately afterwards evens the score, or regains the 5-goal lead.
Urchina will keep it in as he kicks it around the boards. Now he steps into his man. And of course, not only the 3 20-year-olds playing their last game, but likely Milan Urchina, as he will probably graduate onto the pro ranks.
Well, that's right. He's a Boston Bruin draft pick, played here in the exhibition game in September, and that was a long time ago, but he played well, actually had a goal in that game. So Urchina should, from all indications, graduate somewhere pro.
Well, 97 games in the regular season in the playoffs, not including the exhibition games. So a lot of these players over the century mark in games played this season. Bernier looking to dig it out at the blue line. Talbot, as he did a nice job to avoid the hit there. Very shifty forward, Maxime Talbot. And the puck sent ahead to Daou. Again, another competitor. These guys you thought the Mooseheads might be able to handle, but their speed proved to be a bit much.
And again, they were very, very pesky. Downright perhaps called dirty at times, Ken, with the stick. That was the even upper. It took the disadvantage of hit and height away and really evened up this series.
McRae waiting there, and the shot was blocked before LaFrance had to make the stop. Now Lavallee, who will be given some consideration for the MVP, as he carried the Mooseheads here all the way to the President's Cup final. Puck is rolling inside the line. Villeneuve back to skate it for the Halifax Mooseheads. Again, Hull Nutling back as they set up the forecheck. Brent Roach. Now the puck worked ahead to Stuart McRae, and he'll send it deep inside the zone, off the glass, and out of play again. We'll get a stoppage with the Mooseheads trailing 7-2. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
Outdoor enthusiasts everywhere are turning to Trailblazer for quality outdoor products. Look for Trailblazer products at Canadian Tire, Kent, Home Hardware, Central Home Improvement Warehouse, Piercy's, and other fine retailers. Trailblazer, a proud sponsor of this telecast.
Face off to the left of Eric LaFrance. Verana, Gannon out on the ice along with J.F. Sear and Randy Upshaw and Bobby Clark. So changes will be in store next season for the Halifax Mooseheads. Of course, they'll look to draft another European, look to straighten out their goaltending situation as well. So there'll certainly be a lot of new looks here for the Halifax Mooseheads.
And again, Marcel Patnaud will put a quality product on the ice here at the Halifax Metro Centre. So fans will know, again, when they come to the Metro Centre, there'll be a solid hockey team to watch.
Worked to the blue line. Halifax can't get control of it as it's slashed down and out over the line. And it's Peter Verana sending it across on the backhand for Upshaw. Slips it across and inside the line. As we played 6 or 14 minutes off this third period. It's been all Hull, 7-2. Here's Gannett turning now between the circles. Given a bump there by Wathier as this Hull Olympic Hockey Club continue to pound the Mooseheads physically. Down the ice, Wathier, 2-on-1. Sullivan cuts to the goal. Lavallee intercepts. Demore, quick snapper, and a good stop by Guillaume Lavallee. Shots 30 apiece here in the hockey game here this evening. And they'll tie it up in the corner boards in another face-off here to the left of Lavallee.
And again, Ken, this game really is down to a snail's pace. Mooseheads really, give them credit. This has to be tough to trail after 2 periods by 5 goals and come out and show the class act that they are, and still, till the last whistle, keep giving everything that they have.
Shot from the blue line, blocked off the stick of Dominic Demore, kind of a surprise starter. Chris Potty was injected in the lineup and played well, and part of the reason this got turned around this series with a good effort there. But Demore in the lineup tonight, Potty sitting out. A.J. McLean works his man Daou over on the sideboards, but it's Daou able to continue on as he keeps his feet moving. Centering pass. Sherrill there to hack that out of the way. And Benedict ahead for Cabana. Now A.J. McLean tries to take control. Jimmy Sherrill now in over the line as A.J. McLean continues to get tangled up at center ice with Bogner. Cabana's pass off the boards and picked up by Benedict. Circling on the right wing side, and we'll get a stoppage here with Cabana crashing the net.
And again, Cabana has had an outstanding rookie season for the Halifax Mooseheads. He had 4 goals in the regular season, and Cabana had 4 goals, equaled that in the first round against the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles. 7 goals, 1 assist, 8 points in 23 playoff games for Halifax. 31-30 the shot, 7-2 the score, and again, a little bit more jump in the legs of the Olympic in the first period and the second really dictated this game.
Well, Hull will open up Sunday night against the Kelowna Rocket in the MasterCard Memorial Cup, as Bobby Clark now will take the puck and stride in on off the face-off, looking to go short side, trying to bring it out front. Marc-Andre Bernier, he was denied there, or check that, that was Jordy Preston. And turning with the puck now, Jeff Smith off the Hull Olympic. Dartmouth native, he's going to do the Memorial Cup. Of course, he was there last year with the Victoriaville Tigre, as was Matthew Brunel, Potty as well. So some familiar faces heading back to the Memorial Cup. 4 minutes to go here in the hockey game. And the puck is sent around the boards. Hull will just take their time and skate out, of course. They're in command of the hockey game. Down the right wing, Brent Roach will hustle up. Try to center, he'll circle around the goal. Upshaw stays with him. Now all the way out and down the ice. And no icing, of course, as the Hull player sent it down there. And it's Doug O'Brien on the backhand to Damore. Hit there by George Davis. And then again, the puck floated inside the Halifax line. Picard looked to angle it off the glass. They look to center now, but Upshaw steps in front of that pass. Dale Sullivan out front, Belmer. And a stop by Lavallee. Puck on the net, and we'll get a stoppage. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home.
Wood Motors Ford, proud sponsors of the Halifax Mooseheads. Drop by and check out our sale on Ford trucks. For cars and trucks, you'll always get a great deal at Wood Motors Ford. Where else?
Well, 3:28 is what's left off this third period and off this season and series. And the Hull Olympic leading 7-2, and they're going to go on to win the series and represent the Quebec League in the Memorial Cup along with the host team, the Quebec Ramparts. In over the line, A.J. McLean slipped in, but it was called on the offside.
And there's Captain Brandon Benedict in his last game as a Halifax Mooseheads, a stellar 5-year career, led the team emotionally this year throughout the playoffs. A great game against the Bathurst Titans at the Halifax Forum. First star in that game, first star in the first game that the Mooseheads won against Baie-Comeau back here when the Mooseheads didn't have home ice advantage. So he's had an unbelievable playoff run, and only second to Guillaume Lavallee in most valuable player voting, I would think, on the Halifax Mooseheads.
Bobby Clark sends it near side. Sear will tap it inside the line, and Sam Roberts goes back to pick it up lately as Roberts goes down awkwardly and loses his helmet with 2:56 to go here in the third period. And while we have this opportunity, certainly, Paul, I speak for you as well. I'd like to thank Kevin Cameron and the entire Halifax Mooseheads hockey organization. It's been a tremendous run, as it has been with the folks in Cape Breton and the entire staff of Eastlink Television that we work with throughout this hockey season. It's been a great run for us upstairs here in the broadcast booth, and those folks from Eastlink worked their butts off all winter long and here in the playoffs, and they deserve a tremendous hand. And of course, Eastlink has taken it to a new level with great playoff coverage. We cover 5 games, or rather
20 of
25 games for the Halifax Mooseheads. Great for the fans at home, and we look for bigger and better things next season. And again, thank you to the folks at Eastlink Television and to Kevin Cameron and the Halifax Mooseheads organization. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left here in this third period, as Hull now will look to walk out with it. Stopped. Gannett sends one through the crease. And off the boards, the Mooseheads will look to keep it in. Picard had it knocked down. Sear turning with it, and he'll send it in around the corner. And Marc-Andre Bernier into the corner, throws a light bump there. Guillaume Lebrecq will tie it up with Jeff Smith. So again, the pace slowing down here. The hockey game all but over. Just 2:07 to go.
Again, I'd like to echo your sentiments, Ken. You come into the Halifax Metro Centre, you can't get much more of a classy organization than the Halifax Mooseheads. In fact, there's one not far down the road in Sydney, Nova Scotia. You go in there, a total class organization as well. And both organizations represent the province well, and they represent their cities well.
Here's Desalliers turning with the puck. He'll get across the red stripe and send it deep for the Hull Olympic. As you'll see them begin to start to celebrate on the bench. They're going to the MasterCard Memorial Cup and a very well-deserved 7-game victory over the Mooseheads, much like the Mooseheads turn the trick against the Bécamo Drakkar.
That's right, Ken, going up to Bécamo and really taking it to the Drakkar. And after that, we had high hopes for the Mooseheads. And really, Ken, although they won't win this series, they came out with their heads up high. They gave everything they had, and Hull with a little bit more jump, really, it showed a little bit later in the series.
McRae turned the puck over at the line, and it's sent back out on the backhand. And Milan Jurčina now has it. And I'm sure you're going to see Benedict Bell and McRae on the ice now for this final minute here. Classy move by head coach Sean McKenzie. The fans that are left at the Metro Centre rise to their feet, and they'll give this hockey club a ovation that they certainly deserve. Wagner rubbing Thatcher Bell out of the play, and the puck will be sent all the way down the ice. Villeneuve will race back quickly to wave off the icing, and we can see down at the Hull bench, they're starting to celebrate. Coach Ben Mulgrew along with assistant coach John Shabbat. Villeneuve to center ice, and he'll look to stick handle his way in over the blue line, dropping it for Brandon Benedict. And again, the puck just shoveled down the ice by the Hull Olympic. Bobby Clark ahead to Thatcher Bell. Bell couldn't get any further. Backing it up was Clark at center ice. Across to Benedict. Now to Milan Jurčina. As this clock will wind down the final seconds, we'll let you listen in and we'll take it home.
Now the Hull Olympics win the President's Cup trophy. Sean McKenzie's had an unbelievable year. He's really got a lot out of a team in probably the toughest division in major junior hockey. And Cabana, he's got some good years ahead of him. He's very emotional now, and you really can't blame him. He's an unbelievable season as a 16-year-old rookie. And there's your 2002-2003 Quebec Major Junior Hockey League champions.
Well, the emotions obviously will run pretty high here for the Halifax Mooseheads. A very draining playoff run, and you'll see the effects now on these, I guess, Paul, you can still call them kids.
And I think we lose sight of that a lot, Ken, that these guys are 16 to 20-year-old kids. And when I was 16 years old, I could not imagine playing in something like this and showing the professionalism that these guys showed night in and night out. Pillars of the community. And again, that goes from the president down. Kevin Cameron gets these guys involved. And they'll be back next year. They'll rebuild. There'll be some new guys, some new faces. But the Mooseheads will be back.
Not much else we could say here tonight from the Metro Centre. The Hull Olympic come up with a huge victory on the road. They win Game 6. They win Game 7. And they are your league champions. They win the President's Cup. You're watching Eastlink Television right here at home. Welcome back to the Halifax Metro Centre. Just handing out the Most Valuable Player Award here. And we're going to wait to see who it's given to. I'm sure Maxime Talbot will likely be the winner from the Hull Olympic.
Talbot had 44 playoff points, and Brunel as well will get some recognition with 22 goals.
And yes, indeed, Maxime Talbot wins the Guy Lafleur Trophy as the most valuable player in the playoffs as Sylvain Bibeau presents the trophy.
Talbot, the native of Ville-les-Moines, Quebec, only an 18-year-old, 104 points in the regular season. He's got at least, he has the potential to play 2 more years in the league, and again, he's had a great playoffs for the Olympic.
Drafted by the Pittsburgh Penguins. And we see Dan Robertson now down at ice level with Maxime Talbot, and as soon as we can get him hooked up and ready to roll, we'll send you down there. And now we're going to send you to ice level and join Dan Robertson.
Okay, listen, Maxime Talbot, I know you're going to accept the league award in a minute, but MVP, talk about the way you played in this series.
Yeah, that's great. I think I just worked hard all the way along, and it was a great time. Everybody owned that trophy. Brunel, Daou, Kid La France could have it. I think it's a team effort, and we're all proud of that.
Listen, I know it's time to go get the big one, so go ahead. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's Maxime Talbot. Ken, back upstairs.
All right, certainly worthy off the award. Unbelievable, Paul, the numbers that he, Daou, and Brunel put up. And those guys are going to have to continue to do that in the Memorial Cup.
Again, it's hard to believe that they have to really go down a lot emotionally and then bring it back up in less than a week Sunday evening. And there it is, the President's Cup.
There's the president, Gilles Courteau, off the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. And certainly a thrill, I know I can certainly say for myself, to be sitting here to be calling such a game with such magnitude and to see the President's Cup on the ice. You know, as a youngster, you follow the Quebec League, and it's a pleasure for us to be involved as well. Very exciting as Talbot picking up the President's Cup.
And again, another great sporting event hosted by the Metro Centre this year. Of course, the World Junior Hockey Championships between Sydney and Halifax. That's where it was hosted. The Brier being hosted here as well. And now the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League Finals as well. Ken, it's a notorious hockey town. And again, this is just another notch in its belt.
And unfortunately, all three of those events, Paul, the Brier, the World Junior, and this game here tonight, the home team's coming up just a shade short.
And there's the Mooseheads watching the Olympic go around the ice with the President's Cup, and that's a tough one to do in your own arena. But the Mooseheads really gave it everything they had, and give them credit. They're out here, they're waiting just to line up and shake hands. And again, another class move by the Mooseheads.
And again, a large contingent has remained on hand here tonight to applaud the Hull Olympic and the Halifax Mooseheads.
And that's good to see the fans as well sticking around. Metro Centre jam-packed here this evening. Very, very loud to start the game. And the Mooseheads lining up at center ice. And for all the battle that these guys have went through in the last 2 weeks, you like to see this. And it's going to be tough to shake hands for the last times for Benedict, Bell, and McRae and the rest of the Mooseheads. But again, they're only 20 years old. Tomorrow's another day in their lives, and a new chapter will open up.
Well, we see the handshake now taking place. And a lot of these guys, of course, have crossed paths in midget and, of course, as well in junior. And they emotionally drained both teams. A great series, 7 games. You couldn't ask for anything better to decide the President's Cup. Guillaume Lavallee, what a story he created for himself. All kinds of great side stories to this playoff run, but one no bigger than Guillaume Lavallee, a guy who has spent all of his time in the Quebec League as a backup goaltender in the shadow of Olivier Michaud. And he played against Marc-Andre Fleury. He played against Adam Rousseau. He played against Olivier Michaud. And he played against La France. And he represented himself very well and has probably earned himself a crack at playing next year in the league as a 20-year-old.
And let's have a look at the class of Jonathan Boutin. He had a great season as well, relegated to the backup role. He shows a lot of class.
Dan Robertson again down at ice level with former Moosehead Tyler Reed.
Thanks a lot, Ken. Tyler, an unbelievable performance in Game 6 and Game 7 from your squad. Just tell us how you did it.
Well, I think we've been a character team all year. And the fact that we battled back for a 3-2 deficit, it just shows the character we have in this team. We've been a hard-working team all year, and that's just what we did in the finals.
I know that a lot of people picked Halifax to win this. Did that get you guys up, would you say?
Well, I think we took that as a motivation, and I think they had 2 tough series before that, so I think they started to show that they were a little bit tired, and we tried to keep the energy up.
And it's not over for you. As a 20-year-old, you get to go to Quebec City now. Best of luck there. And I know it's hard to say who you'll be up against, Kelowna on Sunday, but you don't really know your competition that well, but anything's possible.
We don't know anything about them. We're just going to go there with the same attitude as we did here. We're just going to work hard and see what happens.
Well, you started as a Moosehead. You were a dandy, and a great way for you to finish here. Thanks for this, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's Tyler Reed, Candace, and so many of the other former Mooseheads in this league playing well, but Tyler doing a great job on defense. Doug O'Brien, another one as well. And the Hull Olympiques just better than the Mooseheads in the last 2 games. Back upstairs to you.
Well, they certainly were, Dan. And you know what can happen in a 7-game series, and it happened tonight, where Hull just came out pretty good pace, pretty good jump. And they took advantage as we take another look at the President's Cup.
And just as Dan was having that interview, Brandon Benedict slapped gloves with all the players going off the ice. Of course, Brandon Benedict, 303 regular season points as a Halifax Moosehead to lead the Mooseheads. He's a career Moosehead, and I'm sure it won't be too long. We see number 40 up in the rafters here at the Halifax Metro Centre. He typifies the Mooseheads' way, and there he is for the last time going in the dressing room as the captain of the Halifax Mooseheads.
Well, the fans now will start to file out of the Halifax Metro Centre, and believe it or not, won't be long before we're back at it again here, September, not that far away.
And it's, again, an unbelievable playoff run. 25 games in the playoffs, 3 Game 7s, in which the Halifax Mooseheads really took the emotional roller coaster and threw it back and forth for the Halifax fans here. They have to be happy with the product. And again, as I mentioned in the 3rd period, Marcel Patino and Sean McKenzie, Kevin Cameron, and everyone else will make sure there's a quality product again on the ice, so the people in Nova Scotia can enjoy hockey at the Halifax Metro Centre.
Well, the pitcher made famous by a lot of NHL hockey clubs when they win Lord Stanley, and the Hull Olympiques very deserving. And they win the President's Cup. You're watching East League Television right here at home.
Period highlights are brought to you by the credit unions of Nova Scotia.
Full-service banking available at over 75 locations in Nova Scotia. RRSPs, credit cards, internet banking, mortgages. Surprised? Shouldn't be. Credit unions of Nova Scotia. Our business is banking. Our focus is people.
Well, our highlights here to wrap things up for the Metro Centre. Benedict sending one to the goal. LaFrance, he had a strong game tonight in propelling his team to a 7-2 victory.
That's what he had to do, and we talked about that, and he did that. And here's Milan Yurtina, textbook power play goal, put pressure in front. Bernier with the screen, and there's the goal. And then almost immediately after that, 38 seconds later, Guillaume Lebrec finishes the deal, slides it along the ice. Guillaume Lavallee unable to make the save, and that made it 7-2. That was our final goal. Here's some more work by the Mooseheads, who just kept plugging away at it, looking for whatever they could get. And there is a shot nullified by LaFrance. And here again, McRae tries to outweight LaFrance, really know where to shoot that puck. LaFrance had a little bit more intensity, came out tonight and made some nice saves. And there's Brandon Benedict. Tries to work the puck out front, tries to bulldog that puck in behind LaFrance, but LaFrance made the save. In the 3rd, LeBrock from Wagner and Dupuis, Yurtina from Kent. 33-31 the shots. So after the Game 7 summary, Ken, 7-3 in favor of the Hull Olympic.
Well, it certainly has to be disappointing if you're the Halifax Mooseheads. This Cinderella run has come to an end in front of a sold-out crowd of 10,600. And you look back and you think that, they're going to come up with a huge effort, but take nothing away from the Hull Olympic. They came out and played a strong road game tonight, a strong home game last night, and they simply were the better team tonight.
Well, again, you have to look at how many games the Mooseheads played over the last little while, perhaps 21 games in 39, 40 days. There's a lot of times you bring yourself up emotionally to play, and sometimes there's just not a whole lot left emotionally to call on here this evening. This is the first time the Olympics played a Game 7. They were up and they were ready to go. Mooseheads may be a little bit drained, but again, they've had an unbelievable season.
Again, the final score. Hull win it 7-2. They win the President's Cup. And before we send it downstairs, once again, a big thank you to everybody who followed Quebec Major Junior League Hockey on Eastlink Television. It was a fantastic season for Paul McDonald and myself. And again, we thank you. Now, let's send it downstairs and join Dan Robertson and Jason Trowini.
Thank you, Ken and Paul. And Jason, Paul just made a good point that the Mooseheads over this playoff run had to get up so many times, not just for Game 7s, but other big games. And it can be tough when you have to call on it again. Sometimes it's not there.
Oh, it's definitely. I mean, they had, out of 4 series, they went to, I think, 3 to Game 7s. And, it took a toll on them. And, they responded until then. And today, it just didn't happen for them.
I don't know if there's a better Moosehead than Brandon Benedict. Certainly players have put up more numbers than Brandon, but it's tough to see him go. I mean, started as a 16-year-old, now he's 20, and you play with him. Just a couple of thoughts about number 40.
Yeah, he's a great kid to start off with, and he's a great hockey player too. And he wore the Moosehead on his heart, and I feel bad for the guy. I mean, he put a lot of effort. Just too bad to see him come short.
And McRae and Bell, it's their final kick at it too as 20-year-olds. And I remember when you finished with Val d'Or as a 20, what goes through your mind? I mean, it's almost like playing professional in this league, and then sort of you go on to university or whatever, but it has to be tough.
Yeah, because realistically, these are 4, possibly 5 great years of your life, and you don't know what to expect. Who knows what's going to happen for those guys? Some might continue, some might stop. It's tough to know what's going to happen, but that's part of hockey, though. It's unfortunate, but they gave it all they had, and they just came up short the last game.
Listen, thanks again for doing this. You did a great job, and good luck again with the Halifax McDonalds.
Thank you very much.
He's the head coach of the Halifax McDonald Midgets, Jason Trowini, and congratulations to the Hull Olympiques. Again, they win their 5th league championship. That ties the record set by the old Quebec Ramparts, who folded in '85 and then came back in the league. But Hull will open up the Memorial Cup on Sunday at 7 o'clock, actually 5 o'clock Atlantic time. They will play the Kelowna Rockets. So best of luck to them, as Kitchener and Quebec are the other 3 teams in that tournament, again at Le Colisée in Quebec City. For Ken McNeil, Paul McDonald, Jason Trowini, and the rest of our Eastlink crew, I'm Dan Robertson. Be sure to watch those credits as we roll out some of the people who make this broadcast possible. Thanks for watching. Hull wins it all, 7-2. Good night from the Metro Centre.